I'm super chuffer. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. And your right ear and your left ear. And it's mono. And what we're doing tonight. Big ups. I can't believe this is happening. I'm surprised and I can't believe it's happening. So, again, this is another late random decision to just suddenly jump on stream. He's going to be Alan Vinnicombe, the Armchair detective, is going to be covering the 8 passengers story. I've got no idea why. What? If you don't know, 8 passengers story is all over YouTube at the moment. Look, it's all over YouTube at the moment. They've been all over YouTube for years. It's one of these families where it's one of these families where they put all their kids on the YouTube, and it's like lifestyle vlogs all the time, and I'm on the YouTube all the time, and they've kind of got their own followers and detractors, and they've had their story on YouTube for a bit, and it turns out she's been treating the children pretty badly. Okay, it turns out that she's been like leveraging some quite bad punishments and stuff, like making them sleep on bean bags, and one of the children escaped the house, made it to a neighbour. They're in the process. Like, if I just quickly do Google 8 passengers, and it would just be on the news. Look, it's been on the BBC News, the rise and fall of a parenting influencer 2 days ago. A woman who sprang to fame giving controversial parenting advice has been charged with 6 counts of child abuse. What happened to Ruby Frank and her family? And the reason it's on the BBC News 2 days ago is because it's all over the internet a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like, the ones that follow it hard and the ones that are in that ballpark of content, like, look, this girl has got 100,000 views on her video about it a day ago. So now people are starting to make their, overview videos of what's going on. There's sort of people who are following it live and updating, and then there's overview videos. Alan is not in this ballpark. He doesn't belong in this ballpark. Like, he's always, stay in my lane, stay in my lane. This is not Alan's lane. American internet YouTube drama, particularly this area of it, is not Alan's lane at all. Look, you can see all these people that are coming up from the videos and stuff. They're not like the sorts of people like Alan. Like, the people that are making these videos are not the sort of people like Alan. Boop. So I don't know why he's doing this. It's a really fucking weird one. Before he gets going, we'll watch a couple of little videos. Like, I haven't got the time to watch an hour-long one, but I'll just give a quick overview here from the top one. Look, quick.
They decide to become family vloggers. So they film all these wholesome vlogs with the whole family, and they get really popular on YouTube. But then people started to notice they had a really harsh parenting style. Like, sometimes the mom would withhold food as punishment.
I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
She also took away her son's bed as punishment.
The bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
And then one night, their neighbors get a knock at the door, and they answer it, and it's one of the kids from the vlogger family. And he's 12, and he had duct tape on his hands and feet where he had been...
No, just this very quick overview, just like I just gave you. I don't know if this guy was following this family before this. I wasn't following them closely. I've been made aware of them, and I'll show you how I was aware of them in just a minute, but...
Tied up. He also had open wounds, and he was severely malnourished. The boy had been tied up by his own mother, the family vlogger, and her business partner. And he was able to escape by climbing out a window and running to the neighbor's house, where he asked for food and water. So the neighbor immediately called the police.
A 12-year-old male showed up with tape around his legs Thursday asking for help, said he was afraid, asking for police.
So this nice Mormon family, they have 6 kids, they decide to become family vloggers. So they film all these wholesome vlogs with the whole family, and they get...
That's basically it at the moment. I didn't post on Discord. Oh, can somebody else please post it? Thank you, I forgot. Like, that's the story. If you're not like big on the story, and like some of these people who probably know the fact. Okay, let's quickly open up another window here. This is Queen Edits. Subscribe. Bing. Queen Edits. Queen Edits does follow this family, and she makes Queen. The reason it's called Queen Edits is because they like the little girl. They call her the Queen, but look, she makes loads of edits about it, loads of cool videos. So 4 months ago, this one, I think, So, like, you know, I like watch YouTube a bit. You know, I'm aware of stuff that goes on. I'm not really big into this, but I was aware a few years ago of the YouTube scene. Why, if I rewind it to give me another advert, you chuffer. I was aware a few years ago of the YouTube scene. Like, it's been a thing, hasn't it? Using your kids for views. Is it good or not? No, it's not. Especially those ones where you buy them loads of toys and treat them like a marketing tool. And like, you know, this is on the edge of lolcow territory. Like, this is the sort of stuff that my mates on the lolcow side of things might make videos about, maybe. Alan to do an episode on it tonight is fucking insanity. Like, he knows nothing about this. Nothing at all. And this is going to be fun tonight. So 10:15 it starts. We've got a little bit of time before that. I want to say big shouts out to Slinky Socks. We're going to have a little look at her video as well. Quick, before, you know, just to give you the overview of what's going on tonight. This is some of the Queen edits.
When these kids play, they play hard.
I looked in every single room and she was
Not in any. He partied so hard, threw up and fell asleep. Why don't you go give him a tap? You feel better? Does your tummy feel better? Why don't you guys play for about another hour or two and then we'll go have an early bedtime tonight. Official that Abby is the very first one to sleep in the sick bed in her bathroom. I guess you could throw up in the toilet, but it's in the tub. The construction crew might get mad at you. They're coming tomorrow.
You sleep last night.
You did? You slept good on the tile
I'll tell you what, Alan is going to fucking love all these pictures of little girls on his stream, isn't he?
floor.
Like, now on reflection, like, he does look malnourished. Like, on reflection, when you watch these, like, the first time round, it's like, ha, we're making funny edits of this family, and she's a bad mother, and, like, we're pointing out every time she's a bad mother, because she's on the internet trying to point out what a good mother she is and do all these videos, and it's funny to have people detract her. You know, it's in that ballpark.
What?
There's the Queen. They think she's the Queen.
Okay, so our bedroom situation is just full of
All kinds of drama.
See, this is Sherry's room. The way we have it right now is Sherry is sleeping on the bottom bunk. Eve is sleeping on the top bunk. And in this room, we have Abby and Julie sleeping in here. Eve is scared of the top bunk.
Russell?
It's like you're ready to, like, doze off.
So, like, you know, you've got these funny videos, you've got this family, they're on the internet. But now when you look back on it, some of the stuff actually, like I just said, looks actually like, you know, in amongst the edit, it's not so bad. But when you pick out that bit where he's lying on the bathroom floor feeling poorless, and then she was just like, yeah, he slept on the bathroom floor, haha. And like, your daughter slept in the bathroom. It's not so good, is it? It's not so good. So that's the general story. And I did consider myself, like, oh, let's do an episode on this. And then I thought to myself, well, I don't really know the full backstory. And there's other YouTubers fully covering it because they're well in that world. There are some people, there are going to be, it's absolutely fine, right, to take a new subject and say, let's take a look at this. I'll do some research. I'll do an episode on it. As a YouTuber, bringing a story to your audience is fine. So the principle of what Alan's doing, covering a big trending story on the internet, not awful, but I'm surprised he's doing it. And the reason he's doing it, as we saw, is it's a big trending story on the internet. Big trending story. So there's one thing I need to just follow on from this quickly. Actually, I don't need a new window for this, but I will do. Armchair Detective. Armchair Detective Blue did a community post. Keeping up with the community posts. This one, which I don't know why he's done this. It seems really fucking weird. But he said the mad woman can't count. So there's this... Lizzie is keeping a account of his earnings and holding him to account for that. Here, he seems to have, right, taken a screenshot off his phone. He's edited this now, has he? He seems to have taken a screenshot off his phone showing his YouTube earnings. He's edited it now. When I looked at it earlier on my phone... Am I tripping here, or can I move this? No, yeah, he's edited it now. Weird. This is off YouTube earnings off the Red channel. I looked at it earlier before he edited it. Honestly, trust me, this is a screenshot, but it's twisted on a wonk, isn't it? The screenshot. So he's doing it in the editing software of his phone. So it might be that it's being edited on his phone as well. You don't know, you can't trust it, remember, because it's Alan. It's an edited thing off. You know, when you get on your phone, you edit the picture. He edited it to crop it out, and then he accidentally posted the whole thing by mistake. So this is off his Red channel. And look, he was earning monies on his Red channel. I'm not monetized. You monetized on the Red channel, and you are on the other channel because you're getting super chats. So that would come up as a list like this on the other channel as well. Thank you. So you could show us, couldn't you, without having to crop it and be weird. But look, the monetization's dropped off. Poor Alan, not getting as much money. I hope so. I hope that's true. Fuck you, Alan. But that's on the Red channel, right? So he's being disingenuous, but then if we have a look at the Red channel, Armchair Detective Red, what I've noticed is, hang on, that wasn't him, was it? Ruby Franks, I have to cut out most of the abuse. He's now making, look, it goes under the radar, doesn't it? It goes under the radar, you don't notice. How has he done this? Alan has dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos about this woman, Ruby Franks now. 5 videos about it. He knows nothing about it. He's never watched her channel. He's never watched her stuff. He's desperate to get on the algorithm and get some monies. This is kicking off on YouTube. It's a big conversation. There's all these people doing their videos about it. Alan wants desperately, like how fucking desperate is this clickbait? Because Alan knows nothing about it. It's just awful clickbait. And how has he turned out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos about it in a day? What does he think he's doing? This is sunk to new lows. It's like dark side Phil levels. What does he think he's fucking doing? If you didn't remember that you were subscribed to Armchair Detective Red, you might remember now because you've just got 5 videos about something random in your inbox and you might want to just unsubscribe from this. This is the channel that makes him money, because when you scroll down, some of the others he's desperate for actually did get views. Look, Watts House. The Watts House, that was sold long ago. It's not the Watts House anymore, it belongs to somebody else. But he did a clickbait video about that, 3,000 views. He's a clickbaiter. Nicola Bully, the tennis ball, 3,000 views. Nicola Bully, 3,000 views. He's a clickbaiter. And then he takes the clickbait video he made and he spins it into a live stream to get double bubble on it. He's the shittest content creator on the internet. And these aren't getting views. They're not picking up on the algorithm. Because Alan, you're a week, 2 weeks too late on this. Is this what it's come to now for you, Alan? How sad that is. Alan is in the same ballpark as Durian Rider, right? Durian Rider. Durian Rider is an Australian former vegan influencer. Not an influencer. Former popular. Look at his most popular videos on YouTube. Look at these. Big boil that you want to pop. An old man with a face mask. All horrible worms on a body. A bottom on a bike. They're having a fight. Like it's all clickbait. All his best content is clickbait. All his best content is clickbait. And the best ones for him are the ones where he's talking about his sexy girlfriend who was popular on YouTube at the time. It's all fallen apart for him now. Right? Now if you go to the latest for Durian Rider, he's still doing clickbait in the field of cycling. Yeah, he's sticking to the cycling now. There's safe space where people don't hate him and call him a narcissist and a rapist. But like he's also got his sexy girlfriend with the bike there, look. Doing the weight loss tips. She's allowed to live in the house. He has to sleep in the garden. He's still doing the clickbait. He's still doing it. Less frequently, but he's still doing it. And he's still desperate for monies. And he's still putting up a video every fucking day. I bought a 20 grand bicycle and next day I lost my job. Don't tell me that's not clickbait. We've got to cover that. I'm putting that on the ad to watch later. You'll see some Durian Rider content coming up on this channel because I do think he's an incredible knobhead that's worth covering. But Alan's... What is this, Alan? Should we see some of Alan's content? Should we have a look? But before we do, first of all, I want Slinky Socks. If you haven't watched this yet, you've got to see this. I'm not showing you the whole video. I'm just going to show you a bit of it because it's so good. You're going to have to go and watch it yourself. I'll shout it out again. The Armchair Detective Supercuts. Slinky Socks, I'd rename this to the Armchair Detective Has a Question because Supercuts is what editors understand, but everyone else doesn't really know what Supercuts are. But check this out.
Hello there, boys and girls. How are you? What goes on behind that closed door? Well, we never know, do we? What happened to her? Where did she go? But what about tonight? Didn't say much about her marriage, did she? What was predominantly at Nicola Bulley's mind? Did she close herself off? Did she? Or not? Because nobody's talking, are they? Well, they did, didn't they? Her sister talked, didn't she? Who does that to their sister, do you think? How much did Nicola's mum and dad know about the police visit? So what was her state of mind? Coincidence? Why? Was it really switched on? Did he forget to switch it on? Or was it faulty? Was it faulty? Was it faulty, not switched on, or they're not going to show us? Do you think the camera was not working, was not switched on, or they have no intention of showing us the body cam, which they do have? What do you think? What do you think? Could be any one of three things, right? How much do the police tell us? How much don't they tell us? This could be one of those, right? So what is a police welfare check?
That's only 1 minute 32. It goes on for 8 minutes. This is brilliant. I suggested it yesterday while we were watching, or the day, whatever day we were watching the Nicola Bulley one, or we were talking about it yesterday, weren't we? And Slinky Socks turned this around in like basically just overnight, which is incredible. It took me a lot longer to edit a supercut than this. And it's just all the questions that he asked, and he asked fucking loads because the majority of Alan's content is just questions. This is a live. Yes, Rhonda, this is live. Your text is on the screen above my head. Your chat is above my head. You can see that on the screen. Yes, it is live. Alan is going to be making a fucking pig's ear of his content tonight. Or maybe he's been watching loads of these other videos on the internet about, like, because so bottom line, we're talking about, what is it, 8 passengers, yeah? And if you type 8 passengers into the internet, you get fucking loads of videos about this story because it's been extensively covered by all the YouTubers who are on this sort of side of things. Like, Law and Crime's got nearly 1 million views covering it 4 days ago. Alan is late to the party and he's desperate for the feeding frenzy. He knows nothing about this. He's not done any extensive research in the fucking day that he's cottoned onto this. He sees it trending and he wants part of it. This could be the new Nicola Bulley case. This could be the new Gabby Petito. Trending on YouTube, sexy woman, kids, I'm in. Alan, you're disgusting. You're fucking disgusting. You're worse than these parents. You know, at least these parents feel some remorse and do some crying and stuff sometimes. Alan, disgusting. So let's have a look at his 5-minute videos about what he's been doing. Like, this is fucking awful.
It's simple to start making.
And you know what's happening is other people are making videos and he's raiding their content for content. That's what's happening here. And I got an advert. He's monetized. Look,
Delved into very deep. Millions.
This is awful.
Sort of ultra Karen, the queen of parenting, or she thinks she is. The rise and fall of the parenting influencer on YouTube is a story that needs to be delved into very deep. It might be 8 passengers.
Very deep.
But I see 6 victims, the children.
Amazing.
Utah. Oh yeah. The same state as the Osmonds. And obviously...
The Osmonds? What are you doing, you fucking reject? What are you doing? The Osmonds. Can you see the difference in why this is trending on YouTube amongst the sort of under 20, or like, you know, 18 to 30s? Yeah? Can you see why? Because it's in their, like, you know, and also it also veers into the true crime. Here's H3 podcast. If Alan, if you're watching this later, if you don't know who the H3 podcast is, H3, you have no business covering this story. But it's H3 podcast ballpark, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you don't know who iDubbbz is, probably just don't cover this story, Alan. Like, here's one, look. This is who should probably...
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. We have spent a lot of time on this show talking about the dangers of posting your children online and the toxic...
So, I'm not saying that anyone can't cover anything on the internet. Of course they can. But this is the voice of the sort of people that I think are being successful on YouTube with this sort of story, covering this sort of story. And Alan, no.
And the prevalence of narcissism in our society today.
Love
especially when all of those things are combined.
Hang on, I'm about to say she's really good. I wish I could get her on my show. I'm going to scroll down. She's going to have like 13 million subscribers. Watch. 3 million subscribers, told you. Like, she's doing good.
which is what we are dealing with today. But the one thing we have not discussed as much is how that obsession with posting your whole life online, including your children, can come back to haunt you and can even be used against you in the court of law when you are faced with felony charges. We have a lot to dive into today, but before we do, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that...
Look how good she is at creating media. Alan can't touch this.
Eat dinner.
Very
Chad,
nutritious.
what are you doing over there? You no texting at the dinner.
But feeding frenzy as it is now, right? Let's just quick. I've got so many things to cover in the 15 minutes before Alan's going to come on. If you're not subscribed to Super Chuffer for You, I'm going to put that in the comments now. Make sure you get on that as well. I want everyone on that as well. Super Chuffer for You. There's good stuff on there. So this is clips from Queen Edits. Queen Edits has been editing this family for a long times, yeah? And there's so much content because they upload all their content onto YouTube, or have done until their YouTube's taken down now since these felony charges. There's so much content to go through. So if it did become like a popular wormhole or rabbit hole for Alan, you know, if it became a popular subject in the way that Alan has for me, then he could legit just sort of go through their content for ages and gather little clips. And I think his flying monkeys are doing it for him. Like when Alan's doing these 6 videos on this Red channel in a day, who's clipping this? Who's sending him this? He's either watching someone else's video on the internet and copying it. No.
Hi, Leanna here. I'm a Boots beauty specialist and I'm here in Westfield and I'm here to tell you that the Boots...
Well, here she is. Relentlessly, daily, cruel.
No. Busted straight off. Look, this song is lustful. Do you see that? The text on it? And the channel that I watch the edits on, the Queen Edits, watch this. Can you see the words on the screen? That's Queen Edits. Queen Edits does that. You've cropped off the thing that says Kinemaster on the right hand side. This is Queen Edits.
Cruel mother. A little boy scared stiff of his mother.
Are you doing that, Alan, or is your editor doing that, or is it Queen Edits?
Who happened to put his socks on the pathway. You go and pick up those after the camera. I dread to think.
Get out of this conversation.
Oh no, this is an uncomfortable conversation.
You see, there's so many clips, and you can hear this has been recorded off a screen, and they've left a double. This isn't someone else is recording someone else's video here and raping it for content.
Must have.
But there's so much of it on the internet. It's so hard for Alan to be tracked while he does this. He's gonna He thinks this is a feeding frenzy. To him, this family's tragedy, this group of children and their tragedy, their suffering, is his feeding frenzy. It's disgusting.
Oh my Matt, are you angry at me?
Let's sit. I gave Julie a tongue lashing.
Because look, he's just got their video on now, hasn't he? All he's done is introduced the video and said, this family are bad. Look at him with his... Oh, he's such a cunt. He's such a cunt.
This woman's abuse of children.
Alan, you abuse children.
As a lesson...
What are you doing on Smule singing with the kids live, Alan? What am I looking for now? I'm looking for Sentries. I advertise it. I put this up here so everyone could see it. I cannot believe that this man, I cannot believe it. There is something going wrong in the world. Like, you know when people say they wanted him off the internet because look, that kid's waving at him. That kid's waving at him. That's live. That kid's waving at him. Don't you tell me that kid's not waving at you in that, Alan. Who's the kid waving at, Alan? Look, waving at you. Who's that you? You and the kid live on the internet together in the sing-song video. Come off it, Alan. Right? How is this man feeding frenzy on this case? Like, I can't wait for him to be the worst fucking... Like, he's going to be the worst one doing any content on this, and it's going to be such a laugh. But at some time, like, you know, everyone was so eggy about the Rusick thing and all this, and like, I wasn't around back then for this, but this does, like, it makes me think, what a fucking knobhead he is. What a cock. Like, what a cock.
Do you know the UK...
And he's getting the AdSense on this channel, and he's so desperate for it, because as he showed on his community post, it's gone down.
Her own abuse of her 6 children. Watches it back, but doesn't learn a lesson. What does she see? Oh my God, I'm terrible. Remembers that her mum said, if you could see yourself right now, you'd change. Well, Ruby can see herself, but she never changed. She just got worse.
Who's writing this for him? Because he doesn't know who these people are.
She knew what she was doing, all right, with her ideas on parenting. As she admits to her own daughter, who when I won't speak to her.
Best part about doing YouTube. I know instantly.
Oh, I bet you love the fucking videos of the young girls, don't you, Alan? I bet you fucking love the videos of the young girls, don't you, Alan?
What the answer is.
Now he's got an excuse. Again, like, this is the thing with these cases. Now Alan's got on his hard drive at home all these pictures of these young girls. And he's got an excuse for it. He's got a reason to be looking at them on his phone. It's fucking horrific. Oh, I'm doing a study on child abuse on my show, so I've got lots of pictures of child abuse on my phone, so I thought I'd just... Come on.
I don't know if it's what you're looking for, but it has made me a better mom. Honestly, because if you have the camera on your face and then at the end of the day, you look at the footage, you realize, oh my heck, I totally overreacted. Why did I overreact like that? I'm gonna have to cut all this out and it's really painful to watch myself. Like, how many times did your mom tell you, you should?
This is proper lolcow content, this is. This is proper jokes lolcow content on it. No, I could cover this family. You know what we do on this channel. We've got this is in our ballpark. This is in our wheelhouse, covering lolcow stuff like this that turns bad. But I saw this kicking off on the internet. I thought it concerns children. I'm not, like, demographics wise, you know, these people that are really popping with this story, not exactly me. I'm okay to just not touch it. But Alan looked at it and thought, feeding frenzy on YouTube, big trending thing. I'm jumping right. He thought, little girls, I'm in.
See yourself. If you could just look at yourself right now. Like, that's literally what it is all. What would you say?
And he's not commenting on this. He's just playing the clips. And at the end, he's saying, they're bad child abuse. She's bad.
Nobody did a thing. Do you find that impossible or possible?
He's watching this in his bed. You can hear his voice. He's watching this in his bed. Listen.
On your face. And then at the end of the day...
people subscribe to this. Nobody did a thing. Do you find that impossible or possible?
He's lying in his bed in the morning. What's going on here? Because Alan's not... I'm telling you, Alan is not doing this, right? He's not editing this, right? What's happening is that Kaka or someone on his fucking Spanish team does the edits for him, yeah? They used to be better, now they're shitter because he lost people off his editing team. He's got these people that are doing it for him, right? And they've said, we're doing videos on this, read this into the phone, please, and send me the voicemail. Like, read this into and send it me on the, like, send this, read this, send this. And he just reads it, sends it, and they edit it together with a clip. And then he's looking at the clips on his phone in his bed in the morning, rubbing himself, watching these clips of this girl and these little girls rubbing himself in the morning and reading out the things about child abuse. That's what's happening for Alan now. And he would love it if this would pay off for him so that he could do it week in, week out. Look at his thumbnails. The woman's on the floor with the kids. Oh... Alan, you are a sick bastard, you are. Alan, you're a sick bastard. I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be really fun because he's just going to look like such a massive pervert. Hang on, which video? I've got too many windows now. Get me right windows, right? That's Super Chuff for you. You need to find that channel and be on it. I'll keep suggesting it. This is all the different videos about this family. This is the edit that I want to watch that's fun. That's Alan and the kids. This is someone being good. Like, you know, in the future we can watch and react to some people being good. Maybe we'll do a special, maybe I'll do a marathon of it tomorrow or something, you know, just to shit over all Alan's content. So we don't need that anymore. I would like Armchair Detective. Have I not got, oh, here it is. 8 minutes to go, so we've still got time. Don't worry. Don't worry, we've still got time. And listen, I appreciate there's been a lot of Armchair Detective content on this channel recently. That's because this channel has a lot of Armchair Detective content on it. And yes, I've been slacking on Super Chuffer. I will get back to it. Thank you all the members on this channel. Big ups, big shouts out to all the members. Big shouts out to anyone who does the tippies. I'm going to pop that in the chat. Thank you very much for that. It's all good fun, and there's lots of time in life to do lots of different things, so it's all good. I will be doing more Super Chuffer, but if you're lacking in the main channel Super Chuffer, this Super Chuffer for You channel has got lots of cool clips of stuff we've done on Twitch and stuff that you haven't seen. I guarantee you there's loads of stuff on this that you haven't seen, and the videos on here, there's lots of them, and there's some funny ones, and there's some interesting ones. Okay, so like you can have a little check of that sometime as well. I will keep popping that in chat and promoting that today. Let's watch some more 8 Passengers edits from the Queen edits themselves. Again, I will pop them in chat, because my guess is that it might not be just Queen edits. You know, it might not just be this channel, but I'm familiar with the 8 Passengers story through the prism of someone who's been editing their content. Hang on, how long have they been doing it? 2 years ago, they started editing their content and putting it on YouTube. So like, they've been doing it for a long time, and they're like what I consider to be a committed detractor channel for Queen edits. So my guess is Alan's going through these videos or videos similar from another channel and just stealing their content.
To be fun, we're like half asleep. Come on, it's school. We got school. Biggest fear though, like going into this school, like last year, was that I would be in the wrong class. My makeup is on, my hair is done. I'm also packing an apple because we all need that.
Nutrition, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
This is kind of the time where I just put my earbuds in and tune everybody out. Oh my gosh, guys.
I just got like in a car crash.
It's right there. It's okay. You almost hit that car. I almost hit this. I thought she did. The school has a pebbled ice machine.
And the weird thing about it is really, and this is why I don't watch and haven't watched lots of this family stuff, is because you're getting a view into this young girl's life, aren't you? So like for some this is cool and it's interesting and it's fun detracting and stuff, but for me it's a little bit over the line where I'm detracting a family. I detract the parents. Like, I think the parents are bad, but I'm not saying this person that's doing these edits is over the line. You know, it's different people in different parts of YouTube doing different stuff. But for Alan, he's going to be watching loads of videos of young girls now. Yeah.
You take advantage of it and you use it daily.
Like Alan's into videos of young girls. Like Alan's into videos of young girls now. Not only is he into them, Alan is making them. Yeah. Alan is making videos of kids, young kids, on his YouTube channel. He's using their suffering for money. There is no way in the world Alan can ever pretend that he knew about this story before 2 days ago. There's no way in the world he could ever... I'm live now. Yes, big ups Candice, I'm live now. Alan's going to be live in about 5-10 minutes and we're going to watch him make a fucking pig's ear of talking about this. There's no way in the world... Sorry, I got hiccups then. There's no way in the world he could have known about this until a day ago. But in a day, he's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos about it on his Red channel, desperately grunting these young girls for monies. It's absolutely awful. Shameless.
Come out.
And look at the ones that he's like, you know, I wonder if he's had fun editing this, Alan. Oh, look, she's there bent over the bed. Yeah. Come on, Alan.
Come out.
Oh, there's a little girl under the bed. I didn't notice that. Come on, Alan. What are you doing editing these videos on your phone in bed in the morning? Is this right, Alan? Is this what you should be doing? Because this one looks like Alan's done it on his phone, look. Is this what you should be doing, Alan, in the morning? Editing videos of little girls in bed while you're sitting there rubbing yourself in the morning, Alan? Why have you done this?
Come out.
I found dead skin.
She found dead skin. Come out.
Dead skin.
Get out from underneath my bed. Right now.
Dead skin everywhere. I write that song.
You wrote that song, Dead Skin? You're gonna have to write, I'm dead now, because you're in so much trouble.
This is inappropriate for Alan Vinnicombe at 68 years of age to be spending time picking through this video selection in morning in bed. This is not acceptable. If anyone, like, can I have a quick poll in chat, or can I have a shout out in chat? Can people just tell me, am I right or wrong in saying, like, if you came into my editing room, like, and I was editing this, like, do you think there'd be some questions, like, what is it you're editing there? You know, do you know what I mean? Like, would there, can I get some, yeah, the footage is all over, but Alan has decided to take the footage, get it on his own phone so he can play, rewind, slow down, you know, use it. Like, this is his choice. Like, you can do it with any, like, editing. He could be on any topic, Alan could be. Like, I personally me, have looked at this whole story and decided not to cover it. You know, don't think I've not been aware of this going on, like the whole internet explosion about this family. That's why I showed you the channels, like that.
And look what came. It's a package.
You know, what I consider to be the fun, detracted side of things. Like, I'm aware of this family and their story, but I'm not covering it on my show necessarily because I'm not part of either the demographic and the people that are regularly, almost, routinely talking about these sort of things, or I don't feel like maybe this man, desperate for young people's attention on the internet for 1 million views, not to diss that man, but he looks a little bit like a pedo with his fucking Jurassic Park t-shirt on and his toys behind him and his haircut, 3 million views, grown man talking about this stuff, like talking to people like their children. On shorts. I think the story is not in my wheelhouse necessarily, but also it's the fact that I would be focused on children. Like, my content would become about these children, and I think their story is tragic and all that, and it's sad, and I hope they get some help. And also, it's sad even if they do go into care, because now they don't get to live with their mom, and they probably do love their mom, and there's all these different questions. But ultimately, it's one of these internet stories. It's going on at the moment. I didn't cover it, and I don't really think if my sister walked in on me editing videos of young girls, she would completely understand if I said, oh no, it's an internet story and it's big news at the moment, and I've got like 100 views. Alan's got 260 views for this one, so it's definitely worth him doing. And you can't tell me that Alan Vinnicombe, first thing in the morning, looking at pictures of little girls on his phone while he's in bed rubbing one out, is acceptable. Am I wrong in this, or am I right in this? I'm 100% right, says Jackie Malpass. I'm going to pick that comment. That's my favourite one. But do you know what I mean? Doesn't it feel wrong for Alan to be doing this? For Alan to be doing this? And why has he picked this one of all ones?
Look at me. You're going straight to bed, and you don't get dessert today. We're all gonna go out and get a cookie.
Then play a family game.
Eve, you cannot be in my room and do that.
The cotton balls. Should in there.
I don't have any. Will you go in your bathroom and get some?
What's the point of this video that Alan's put together? It's clips of this stuff happening. Yeah, it definitely stolen from somewhere else, but Alan has no point here. In fact, he's not even talking in the video.
So I'll go take these and throw them in the garbage can. We had family dinner, and I was looking and looking and looking for Eve, and I was like, why isn't Eve at the dinner table? Painted for a solid month.
He's not even, there's no talking in the video. This is just the one where, okay, and even, this is making me so fucking fired up now. There's no way of knowing exactly where he stole this from, right? But, let me get my Firefox. Edit, transform, reset the transform. On this one, it's suggested at the top, look. It says suggested. See at the top it says suggested. We forgot Chad, so sorry. At the top right there, yeah? I mean, this might be the clip that is everyone else has clipped, but whoever's clipped that originally, they've recorded it off of YouTube, and it's got a suggested at the top right. So it's been screen recorded off YouTube, yeah? Like someone else's video is being suggested. You can't click that because it's not really there. It's part of the recording. And the reason they've picked this one and this clip, whether it's other people have clipped this and made it popular and then Alan has jumped on the bandwagon, or this is Alan's favourite clip or whatever, the reason is clearly because you've got the little girl under the bed being dragged around. It looks like she's almost in a sort of lying on the floor sex position. And then you've got the woman on the floor bent over, on her hands and knees, bent over. And then you've got, you can almost see down the top on that one. In all of them, she's got her hair done nice and she's a nice young girl. And there she is. This is just about putting people in compromising positions. It's that sort of stuff that happens that pedos do, where they're taking pictures of people and are you okay? Nothing wrong here. No, it's just a normal photograph. Except the children look like they're in quite compromising positions. So you could take that another way, couldn't you? That's what this is, and it's uploaded to Alan's channel, The Armchair Detective, ripped from somewhere else. He didn't, Alan didn't clip that video himself. He didn't go through their content and find something and then clip it and put it up. He didn't put a commentary over it. He saw someone else's put that video up. He likes it so much, he's downloaded it and recorded it on his phone, and then he thought, I'll put it on my own channel as well. It's disgusting. This is going to be incredible.
Welcome to the Armchair Detective channel. 25 million views, 100,000 supporters strong army.
One massive pedo.
Ready to investigate any crime. Why not subscribe and be...
Check out the difference between the volume of this and his microphone when he comes in.
Look at drama. We don't bash other creators. We just try to solve crimes that need that little bit of help. Where the victim...
This crime is solved.
And deserve a voice.
There's nothing...
The crimes...
What you're doing here is clickbait.
To look the other way. We want to refocus their eyes. We want to...
Oh, absolutely.
To help us.
And I'm pausing for a quick second. The wrong Missy, can't believe this man is a father. Absolutely. He sees children as, like here in this case, just simply as a resource. Like, to the narcissist, people are not like other human beings deserving of respect. What they are is resources, whether it's of emotional suction or whether financial. And like, he just doesn't understand, again, it's taste, decency. What is this 70-year-old man doing, getting pictures and videos of young girls on his phone in the early morning sent to him by his minions? Oh, there's another one. Look, she's under the bed in this one. You fucking dirty pedo. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Hello, my name is Alan, and you know who I am.
A massive pedo.
Okay. Bit scruffy tonight, I know. Oh, I get in trouble. I am a bit scruffy. I did have a shower and a shave.
But because you spent all day jerking off over pictures of little girls, you look a bit scruffy because you're in the wanky shirt. Yeah? Spent all day jerking off over pictures of little girls. Yesterday, this was drawn to his attention. He spent all day jerking off.
I've been rushing around because I had to watch my country play Scotland at soccer.
What? Oh, he's been watching the England game, so he's drunk.
150 years ago was the first ever football match between one country and another country, and it was England versus Scotland. And tonight we played a special match to commemorate that, and England won 3-1. Yay. But the main thing was I watched a young man called Jude Bellingham, who's
former Blue
probably
Nose,
the best player in the
former Brummie, developed at Birmingham player.
World within a year.
Fuck you, Alan.
I mean, he's absolutely fabulous. A gem.
He's not from Chelsea, is he, you wanker?
He's only a friendly,
Chelsea rent boy. Chelsea rent boy. Whoa.
Took the biscuit the way they played really well.
Shouldn't have said that, actually. That's
Why am I
probably
talking
not
about soccer. I don't know.
Probably not appropriate on YouTube, is
what
it?
I want to talk about now is a
little
YouTuber.
football chant there.
Yes, a YouTuber with 2 million subscribers. Ruby Frankie. You might have heard of it.
Got my Pime on. I'm wearing my Pime on.
Different street in YouTube than us. Family vlogs. Vlogs.
You know nothing.
Quite a few families that
he doesn't even know what they do.
A fortune on YouTube.
Family blogs, vlogs. It's like, you know what I mean? He's so out of touch. He doesn't know vlogging. He doesn't know what's going on. He said it's outside of our like, he's got his Shutterstock background. He said it's outside of his normal wheelhouse. He said he'd stay in his lane. What's he doing? He's making a fool of himself on the internet. He's like, it's a football chant. It's fine. Exactly. It's not my opinion. It's not my, I'm not being homophobic when I go, Chelsea rent boys. Whoa. It's just something that I've heard shouted in a loud volume. How dare he claim joy from Jude Bellingham? You're a Chelsea fan, you. That's our blue boy. I'm only joking. The YouTube streets. The YouTube streets.
It's those people that count how much money I earn to go and see how much
you get off the red channel or have dropped off on the red channel in the last couple of months. I don't know, and you can't trust. Look at his smile, his laugh. You can't trust Alan. That could have been edited. You knew it was edited because you saw it on the editing table, essentially cropped and being edited. You don't know if he's cut out last month's or this month's. You don't know if he's taken it, asked it to tell him from another. You cut that bar and move the bar and change it. You don't know. I'm guessing he's not that capable and he's just not earning that much money because he's shit at YouTube and he's had a bit of luck and he shit the bed with the luck and now everyone knows who he is. So fuck you, you Nancy bastard.
She says herself that she made over $1 million a year on a YouTube channel, and they complain about me making 50 quid. Anyway, that's by the way. But she was making a fortune, and
He's made it about him.
2 million subscribers. I mean, she is charismatic. She's charismatic. She's a let's just say like. I know it's like including mixed metaphors of murderers, like
What you're saying is you want to fuck her.
Laurie Vallow.
Because you want to fuck all those women, don't you, Alan? You want to fuck Nicole Kessinger.
Who thinks she's something else, right? Mixed with the biggest Karen in the world.
Karen. Oh, he knows the word Karen. Welcome to the internet. I'll be your guide. He knows the word Karen. She's not she's not like a super Karen, this woman. That's not her, like, you know, the character of the woman is that she's kind of super strict with her kids, and she has kind of strange family rules. You know, she's got a lot of kids and it's a lot to handle, and she's also making YouTube, so she has this other level of, like, you know, trying to present and, you know, I'm such a good parent, I've got these, and the ideas are a little bit like kind of strict, people think. She's not going into shops and like demanding to see the manager all the time. That's not her MO.
I want to see the teacher. I want to see the manager. It's my way or the highway.
I want to see the teacher. I want to see the manager.
Nightmare woman.
Nightmare woman. He loves this.
Try to have a conversation with. Anyway, she came.
What do you want to do to those nightmare women that you can't handle, Alan? What do you want to do? Tell Scotty Hottie about it. Those nightmare women that you can't handle. Is it like Taming of the Shrew, Alan? I tell you what, I had a fucking awesome relationship once with this one, like Taming of the Shrew. I don't believe in all the Taming of the Shrew, obviously, but she was a bit of a fucking handful, and like I had to, like, you know, stand my ground a few times. No, Alan couldn't handle it. Alan couldn't hack it. Nightmare woman. What he wants to do is knock her out and then shag her while she's asleep, and then be like, "Yeah, I've got one over on you, you silly bitch."
Into prominence in a YouTube channel. 8 passengers. Mum and dad, 6 kids. I call it 8 passengers, 6 victims. Those kids were treated so badly.
I call it, like, he makes up some cool slogan thing and he thinks he's cool, that he's read somewhere else and he's nicked.
But the shocking thing was,
he's reading it now.
Before it's moved this year, he's on our screens, like Shanann, like, for instance.
It's back to what?
Doing Lavelle, knowing she's on screen. But this woman's on a different level. She's doing parenting. And like Shanann, got a lot of stick.
Like Shanann? Fuck you, Alan.
After the event, you know, for the way she did her parenting. This woman, no one saw the red flags. It ended up with her being arrested.
No. The internet saw all the red flags and waved them like loads. Like, you know, Queen Edits, but okay, in a funny way, like in a sort of trolley sort of way, but waved loads of red flags. Like in a funny, like, but also saying like, this is bad for the kids. Like, this is not good. The reason they're red flags is because it's bad for the kids. 8 passengers' kids sleeping on the floor for 2 minutes straight 2 years ago. This is a red flag, yeah?
Russell,
being waved.
I'm ready to make your bed, okay? Let's see what we can come up with.
Okay, what do you think, Russell?
Is this bed gonna work?
What's he doing sleeping next to the toilet?
When these kids...
Like, so these are red flags being waved. So Alan is 100% wrong, bang wrong. I knew he was going to be. I didn't know he was going to wait till just right now, immediately, straight away to do it, but...
When a little boy climbed out of the bathroom with duct tape and severe wounds in his arms where he's being starved to death and tied up.
He knows nothing about it except what he's just heard recently on the internet.
Meanwhile, she's still doing YouTube. She's out the route. She's going somewhere else with a friend. She's picked up this woman and they're doing like how to be a brilliant parent on YouTube, right? And she's not even in the vlogging house.
Fucking.
No, the husband left.
He's drunk. He just said fucking.
On YouTube, right? And she's not even in the vlogging house.
In the vlogging house? He's drunk.
Like how to be a brilliant parent on YouTube, right? And she's not even in the vlogging house.
He's watched what he's done. He's watched somebody else's videos about this, which means he feels like he knows it. And he's watched the football, got drunk, and just turned on the stream ready to have a pop. I really hope he shows some pictures of little girls, because as we all know, he spent all day, all morning looking at pictures of little girls while sat in bed, and that's not acceptable.
No, the husband left the year earlier.
Nonce.
And that's when it went really downhill. She treated him bad when the husband was there, but after the husband left, oh my Lord.
Wait.
Oh my Lord. Very controversial because she was strict with her parenting. Too strict. The 9/11 call led to her arrest and her business partner, Jodie Hillibrand, who's just as bad. A neighbour told a police dispatcher that an emaciated 12-year-old boy appeared at the front door asking for help. He's got tape around his legs, the caller said. He's hungry and thirsty. The boy asked for the police and was very afraid.
Like, this has happened. It is sad, yeah. I'm not here to get fucking sad about this boy. I was sad about it the first time I heard about it. Now he's in care. Now it's been looked after. It's not so sad now that it's over for him. Alan's still going on about it a week later, and he's going to try and twist it as an emotional leverage because he wants his tippies, so he's going to twist it.
He climbed out moments before.
Oh, poor.
How did YouTube...
Oh, his questions. Here's his questions.
Let this woman slowly emaciate these children.
YouTube was not responsible for the feeding of the children, were they? YouTube just allow you to post content. YouTube are not social workers.
How does she stay on screen? This is fascinating. This fascinates me.
I'll tell you what's fascinating to me, right? Armchair Detective, with your fucking horrible pervy content. Armchair Detective, right? Tell you what's fascinating to me. Hang on. I'll tell you what's fascinating to me. We'll get back to him in just a second, but this is right on my agenda, and it flies under the radar because he did these videos. He did over on that channel we were watching, but here's one about how to get your money back from Frankie's crowd justice.
Oh, if you've given money to Frankie's fund to get Alan Vinnicombe, you can't get your money back. This is not true. You can. It's all here. Please do whatever you want to do with this.
So he's given people like a toolkit to try and get money back from the crowd fund, but he's done crowd funds where he's done fraud and taken the money. So hopefully they'll use this advice and use the advice to get their money back from his crowd fund. And in this one as well.
Yeah, I got a criminal record, Mr. Cohen. But this is 5 years later, and they're asking me for £100,000, taking on the case for Frankie Rusek. Any consequences on my mental health, Mr. Cohen? Couldn't say, yeah, I got a criminal record, Mr. Guys, and is fraudulently raising money. And here's the man that started it by couldn't say, yeah, I got a criminal record, Mr. Cohen. Why didn't he just tell the truth? Of course I feel sorry for Shanann and the girl. But
of course I feel sorry for Shanann and the girls and the parents and her brother. Of course I've listened to this. This is incredible narcissism in this video, how to get your money back from Frankie's crowd justice that he did. Incredible narcissism. Of course I feel sorry for the murder victims, Shanann and the girls. I mean, God rest their souls. Of course I feel sorry for them, he says.
This is 5 years later.
This is 5 years later now, though.
And they're asking me for £100,000, taking on the case for Frankie Rusek. Both our client and ourselves have been inundated with questions about the case and the legal strategy and the funding. We're unable at this stage to comment on the case itself or the evidence. Do you think this has any consequences on my mental health, Mr. Cohen? Do you think this pressure you're putting on me has any pressure on my brain?
On my brain? I think it is having some pressure on your brain, Alan. Obviously, it is having some pressure on your brain, because you just said that, do you think there's any consequences for my mental health, Mr. Cohen, after saying, I'm sorry about their mental health problems, after her murder and the poor children's murder. Sorry about that, but now it's 5 years later and they want money off me and it's making me sad. So, Mr. Cohen, what about my mental health? What about pressure on my brain? I think there is some pressure on your brain, Alan.
Case and the legal strategy and the funding. We're unable at this stage to comment on the case itself or the evidence. Do you think this has any consequences on my mental health, Mr. Cohen? Do you think this pressure you're putting on me has any pressure on my brain?
I think it is having pressure on your brain, because that video is fucking awful. But what it does do is it shows people, I don't know if it will work, like his weird complaints system that he thinks he's got. But if they follow that and it does work, then they can use it to get the money back from your crowdfund, which you falsely put up, didn't you fucking knob? So you're such a fucking chuffer. Let's go back to live Alan and his absolutely ghastly content.
You want to have a look at it? This is what I did
There we go.
on my Red channel, so you get an idea.
Now we're going to watch the videos on the Red channel.
Idea of what she was like.
So I'm going to skip.
Influencer. There's nothing to do with.
Found inside the same hole.
And he's even showing the news again.
Be happier.
Grandmaster Sid Sophos sent tippies.
Where's my tippies thing?
Scott Josh Dad Challenge podcast has been calling this family for nearly 1 year. Alan is always a Ron blabbering narcissist fool.
Big ups.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
There you go. Like I say, other YouTubers in that ballpark, you know, have been talking about this. Absolutely. There's a name for you. Josh Dad Challenge podcast. Josh Dad Challenge podcast. Like, Alan's completely wrong about this. He's jumping on the bandwagon once like it's already way too late, and he thinks he can get clickbait views for something that's trending. He's a disgusting grifter.
We talked to neighbors in this
And his content clearly reflects it.
area, and they said that they don't really.
Bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back.
Oh, she's pretty though, isn't she, Alan? I bet you had a good time editing that, having a look at that. Ooh.
Option final.
As we delve into modern day parenting in America.
Why don't you give us some parenting tips yourself, Alan? Why don't you get your kids on the show? Why don't you get your own children on the show and they can talk about what a good dad you've been?
Well, you made a baby wise. This is like 3 or 4 steps on. I mean, it's Utah again, isn't it? Utah's got the most cults anywhere in the world. And you don't get arrested.
Cults. Has somebody been watching some good content over on Super Chuffer about cults on those? Cults. She's got lovely hair, hasn't she, Seaman? Good call. Good call. She's got lovely hair, and so have the kids.
If you're white and the police come round and you speak okay and the house is clean and the kids are clean and washed, they go away again.
What does Alan know about what it's like to have a police welfare check in the state of Ohio? Like, what does Alan know?
There's so many times. What about what they're doing? What about what these women, people, mothers, are doing to the child's brain? The trouble is, YouTube don't see it.
YouTube have no obligation to look after her kids.
The people that do see it are the neighbours. And the neighbours sent the police around there 10, 12, 15 times.
And all the people on the internet that are making videos about what bad parents they are and what fucking, like, sleeping on the toilet is bad.
It's weird.
It's weird, isn't it? Good commentary.
She's got arrested. But it took far too long.
She was part of a cult. Right, well then me and Steve might do a deep dive on it and really rip the arse out of Alan and just do a proper episode on it. And I probably won't show loads of pictures of little children. I've shown a few today just for context, haven't I suppose? It's exactly why I don't like it. It's like, at the end of all this, right, now I've got an episode on the internet that shows pictures of kids, and I'm not dissing the channels that have been editing their stuff. Like, they themselves, the parents, have been putting this on the internet. These people that edit it and comment on it, I'm not dissing them, but me personally, like, when those children grow up, they have to see videos of people on the internet with them. That's why I blurred the kids out of this one. Like, you know, Alan singing with a kid who's waving at him live on the internet there. You know, nonsense on the internet, bad. And kids growing up and having to watch it all back and feel sad about it, also probably a bit bad. I don't know. But just for me, I don't feel like editing a load of kids. So Alan certainly had a good time this morning. Let's never forget this. He showed us, we saw it as they were uploaded all through loads of videos, and we know his editing process. He clearly showed it, some of it was on his phone. He was sitting there editing those kids in bed, rubbing one out, wasn't he? You know, it's only one step. Do you think, I'm going to have a poll. Start a poll. Did Alan because he's always going on about me masturbate over the kids. He's always going on about me masturbating on his face on the green screen, But like, do you think Alan, like, you know, I know this is a horrible poll, right? But is it? I'm just saying this stuff on the internet. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe the community can tell me. Like, is it likely that he's been masturbating over those videos that we saw that he'd been putting together, or you know, do you think he just really felt like, you know, sad for the kids? You know, you've got a choice there. You've got a poll.
Far too long. Let's have a look at the 911 call.
Charged with child abuse, appearing in court.
The news again.
As we learn about signals that
He has duct taped around each ankle.
Very concerning when we hear that there were this many people that
people will be watching this one.
Broad daylight and on.
He's drunk.
Get the help that they
And look, he loves these I bet he fucking loves these women on the news. If he thought Isla was nice, look what America's got to offer. They don't fuck about in America, do they? Look at these hotties on the news, Alan. You're going to get a right kick out of that, Alan, aren't you? Look at these hotties. Maybe one day you can move to America where everyone doesn't think you're a fucking nonce immediately, and you can get on the American news as the British armchair detective. Ooh. And then you could be in a sandwich with these two hotties. Blouse on blouse action. She's got a silky blouse, Alan. Ooh, you like a silk blouse? Come on, Alan.
Thank you.
So there we are, like, abusing children.
That's you. That's you.
It's one thing like, oh, in broad daylight. What about in broad daylight and on YouTube?
In broad daylight? Like, he's getting excited about all this.
We are, like,
oh, he's such a slime ball.
children. It's one thing like, oh, in broad daylight. What about in broad daylight and on YouTube? And people sat there watching it. 2 million of us. Not me.
Not me, you know what I mean? I didn't watch any child abuse on the internet. Yeah, you were searching for the hard stuff, Alan. You weren't watching it on YouTube. You were watching the hard stuff that you get on your fucking little app with your dirty friends that you sell 50 quid a ticket and then you send them some dirty pictures, don't you, Alan? Fuck me. He catches himself in his own bollocks here, doesn't he? Because either you have been watching this in the past, Alan, and then you're sort of revealing like this secret hobby of watching kids on the internet, or you've not been watching it, in which case normal, like most of us. Like I was aware of the families on the internet that do the bad things. I'd seen a few videos made by other content creators about them. So this family had come up maybe. Big up Sandy Sweets.
Sandy Sweets sent tippies. Scotty, you got me hooked on the black bedroom on House Flippers, and now I can't stop playing that damn game. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you very much. It's a good game, isn't it? It's nice and chill. It's nice and chill. We'll have to go back to it again soon. And that was a good episode where we made Alan's black room with his black bed and his. But yeah, either like Alan, like, what are you saying, Alan? So you're saying you've been watching it, but you haven't been watching it. You said a lie, and then you immediately changed your position. You've not been watching it. So what are you doing making these videos about it? How come you're now the authority that should be dictating to the audience? Is it because you're such a good... Like, listen, it's fair to have never heard of something, turn up on this day and say, right, this stuff that's going on the internet looks interesting. I'm going to make a video about it. What I'm going to try and do is make it in my style, try and say something my way, maybe make a bit of my own, you know, put something of myself into it. So I'm not just relating the bare facts again. Or I might just want to relate the bare facts and just hope I ride the trend wave. Big up Sweet Storm. Welcome to Legends. I'm going to start calling you Legends from now on, actually. Welcome to Legend. Actually, Legend, they say Legends on that being said. Maybe I'm stealing that. Anyway, look, the point is that... you can make a video of your own way, you know, you can do that, but you kind of want to do a good job, don't you? Because you're out there in the all the other content that's being made about them. Like, what Alan's trying to do is he's right. This is the fucked up thing with Alan, right? Let me just pick a random one down here. This is 3,000 views. She's not 8 million views, okay? So this is exactly what I'm talking about. We've got this kind of content. We've got a YouTuber. Let's see what she's doing about it.
If you have an...
For like context, and I'll make my point, right? And in the poll, we have decided we think he is wanking over the kids.
Hi guys, Ann here, and today we have kind of like a car vlog, and then we're gonna have like a little chit chat. I'm heading to the dollar store because I want to start making shorts.
Right, well, for me, it annoys me a little bit that we're not talking about this thing that is in the title, but this is the nature of vlogs, I suppose.
So we get to the dollar store.
So, like, you know, she's putting her spin on it by doing her vlog, so fair enough.
That the kid looked starving and had tape bindings on his ankles and his wrists. The police came, and the police noted that the child was severely malnutrition.
So she's got a thing going on. She's edited it as well, notice. So this is her doing it her style. Like, it's absolutely okay to do that, but you're in now amongst all the other people that are doing that, and there's a lot of them. And so, you know, you have to kind of try and make good content to stand out and get the big views. So here's one with 2,500. This one's doing it in a different language, so bit unfair, but here we go.
Por fin, parece que las autoridades, al menos las de Estados Unidos, están comenzando a dar cuenta de lo perjudiciales que son los family channels o canales familiares en redes sociales. El fin de semana.
And again, straight to the point, talking about the subject, edited, well presented. Yeah, so like this one's even got sections where they're talking about the different parts. And they've got some clips from the channels and they're commenting on them. So, you know, it's okay totally to not be a regular commenter on this thing and then bring it to your channel. You've got to try and do a good job on it. And so that is essentially what Alan's doing in his live tonight. But what Alan's doing is he's doing a fucking awful job of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were watching those different videos that I've just shown you and then you compare it to this, it's like, what? Who is this nutter? Why has he got his microphone over there? Why is he using a Shutterstock background as his background? Why doesn't he know what he's talking about or he makes enough sense? It's like, what's...
And people sat there watching it. 2 million of us. Not me, I didn't know about it. 2 million people sat watching her destroy these children. Bit by bit. And no one did anything.
No, what do you mean no one did anything?
We don't have to spend a lot of time on this subject.
We're going to have to spend a lot of time on it.
Anyway.
Are
so,
we?
What if the boy didn't climb out the window?
We'll start with... what if... We'll start with, what if it didn't happen? What if something that didn't happen happened? What if he didn't climb out the window? What do you mean, what if he didn't climb out the window? He did climb out the window. That's what everyone else is talking about, is that he climbed out the window and then this... No, but what if he didn't? Dover and Dolly's mom says CPS was called over and over. He knows nothing, does he? He just wants to watch videos of kids for the next 6 weeks and get paid for it and have a reason why he's got research on his computer about child abuse. That's all. That's all it is, isn't it? Alan fucking loves these. Don't tell me that Alan doesn't love... Like, he thinks he's more worthy of sympathy about his mental state than the family of Shanann Watts. He's a disgusting, horrible narcissist.
Now, the father had left the year before.
Yeah, they're there.
She's leaving them home alone. And they're not even going to school. Deep lacerations through being tied up with a rope. The other children were taken into care, and Frankie was arrested.
For me, that's the worst thing, because at least they've got each other, but then if they're taken into care, do they get separated? You know, there's things to think about there, but it's horrible. I don't want to think about it.
Frankie's 10-year-old daughter was found in a house belonging to Hildebrand in similar condition. So both these women who sat on the couch smiling, telling women how to look after their children, were the worst mothers you can imagine.
Their children.
How to look after their children.
Children. What's wrong with Alan? What's wrong with Alan tonight? He's properly fucking on one. He's been... I'll tell you what's been happening, okay? Because that was the word children that he fucked up. And he said the word kill instead. Yeah? Am I right or am I wrong here? Did Alan just fuck up the word children and instead say children. And if that's the case, then a Freudian slip over the word children would indicate that he has some sort of sexual... This is just absolute fucking, like, psychology. Critique it if you want, however you like, right? It would indicate a Freudian slip over the word children would indicate some sort of excitement, sexual, over the concept and word children. And then to accidentally say kill instead would indicate that the manner of your sexual excitement would be to imagine them dead or that they're being killed, wouldn't it? Like, if that's a Freudian slip, like, this is fucking awful. Oh, that's bad. It's over in Dolly's mom. This is all bad, but it is comedy gold, so yeah, we'll carry on. Okay, the case of the children is fucking awful. Like, that's sad and it's bad. But the case of Alan trying to cover it is fucking ridiculous. So I don't know why he would do this. This is the equivalent of Alan saying, right, tonight on the stream, I'm going to be reviewing, I'm trying to think of something that's got kids in it. Is there some sort of telly program that's got kids in it? I can't even think of something that's, like, you know, full of kids. Tonight I'm going to it'd be like the equivalent of Alan saying, right, tonight I've gone to the local swimming baths and I've decided to take loads of videos. It's under 9's night at the local swimming baths, and I've decided to come here and do a lot of videoing because I'm on the trail of a case about chlorine in the water. It's like something like that. It's like, what are you doing?
On the couch, smiling, telling women how to look after their children.
Children! Why are you doing this, Alan? What's wrong with you, Alan? Why are you such a fucking weirdo? Why you pedo? Why you pedo? What's wrong with you, Alan? Why are you a pedo? You such a noncy.
Women how to look after their children.
You went all Bowie for a minute.
Women how to look after their children.
He's been jerking off over pictures of kids all day.
Were the worst mothers you can imagine. This week, they're both charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse. The authorities say the charge stems from alleged abuse of 2 children through multiple physical injuries and torture, starvation, and
Don't smile.
malnutrition that jeopardized their life and caused them severe emotional harm. They would have died.
Look at that, don't you smile. Look at that. He's biting his lip almost to try not to smile, isn't he? When's the smile coming?
And we'd have seen it played out on YouTube.
Well, you wouldn't because you weren't watching.
Each count carries a prison sentence of 10
He managed to get through that without a smile there. I'm surprised.
years.
Oh.
Is this woman going to get put in prison for the rest of her life? From a $1 million a year influencer who thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread to the rest of her life in jail.
I love the way he said, who thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread, because, as he said, he's not been watching it, so he has no understanding of her personality. She might be doing all this stuff to the kids and doing all this influencer stuff, but on camera she might be saying, look, you know, I'm not a special person. In fact, you know, I owe everything to Jesus. Like, she might constantly be being humble. You don't know, Alan, because you haven't really watched her. You've seen her in a couple of clips that you've stolen off other people, that you spent some time masturbating over before uploading to your own channel. You're probably more focused on the kids anyway while you're doing that. Like, you don't really know about this woman, but now you're making character judgments. And that's because, okay, this is another thing about bandwagoning. Alan sees this as a popular stance. Like, he can't cop any flack, can he? Because everyone else is saying this on the internet. And then for Alan's in with the it crowd, you know, all those hot young girls on the internet that have made those videos that, like, Alan's stealing from, well, they all agree with him. So, you know, Alan's a good chuffer and he's in with the it crowd, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just bandwagoning of the worst order. He knows nothing about it.
This is a case we're going to really follow.
We're going to really follow it.
How did this come about for a woman imparted.
I almost guarantee you this is going to tail the fuck off as soon as he realises, because he thinks when other people get big views will come for Alan as well. He doesn't realise that this will not get big views. This will also be dead in the water because his channel is dead in the water because he's a dirty old perv man, right? So, like, he thinks we're going to do this. This will be absolutely not covered for weeks and weeks. This will be another fucking ASMR.
Inheriting advice to 2 million YouTube subscribers. And she started in 2015 during the boom in all those array of family vlogging. Remember, about 2015, it went crazy.
What do you mean, remember?
There were kids doing...
You weren't... Were you... I cannot think of a reason why in 2015... In 2015... I mean, I was on YouTube back in 2015, so I was aware of family vlogging, I guess. But I can't think of a reason that Alan would be, you know, watching vlogs of kids. Either he knows about this and he's lying. Yeah, both ways are bad.
In toys, there was families doing this and families doing that, and they're all raking in millions. You remember? But she heavily edited the videos. That's the difference. Most vloggers would do it live. He didn't.
No, that's not true. Everyone edits their videos.
Do it live. He would edit out the abuse, and she freely admitted, "I'm not showing the abuse online. I'm cutting that out." What we saw was a typical Mormon suburban family: schooling, cooking, eating.
So in that case, Alan, why did no one spot it? Why did no one raise the red flags? Because she edited it all out. Case solved. Glad you could answer your own stupid questions.
Chatting away together. No swearing. No cussing. Lots of what sounded like good advice on how to grow up to be a great person.
He's reading something else that someone sent him.
But
he's just
he
reading
would
it.
often tell the children they would lose the privilege to eat if they didn't do what they were told. She told a 6-year-old girl that she needed to go hungry after forgetting to take her lunch to school. Hopefully, nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her lunch because she's not going to learn, she told the camera. The idea was to teach the children to live responsibly and be masters of themselves. This is just...
It's raining again. I couldn't
Thank you for the tippies.
Red Fan 30-cent tippies. Super Chuffer owes 5 hugs.
Thank you, Red Fan. Thank you. Red Fan, big ups. I was going to type in what Alan was just saying there and bring up the exact article that he was reading, but I can't really be asked. But like, I 100% guarantee that this man who had the kid in the video with him waving at him, that this man, Alan Vinnicombe, is just reading something off the internet here. And, you know, that's why he suddenly dropped into more... Like, you notice when he's freestyling, he talks like a knobhead. And when he's reading, he slips into this... He's obviously always looking over there at what he's reading, but he also slips into this more normal speaking, like somebody else has written these words so he can say things normally. But when he's on his own and he just has to say words, he's not good at just saying words. He's shit at that too.
It's graceful. I mean, we've got to learn.
We've got to learn
about this woman.
Well,
why she got away with it so long?
Why do we have to learn about it, Alan? If we want to learn about it, we can go and watch all the other great content on YouTube that's showing it. But you, Alan, have to just shut the fuck up and realise that you're not going to be able to grift the algorithm for your own personal gain. Again, it's kids. Alan, again, it's kids.
I thought we were good judges as YouTube people in true crime. We have allowed this in true crime. Okay, on the vlogs they allowed it, but if he was
We have allowed it in true crime.
in our corner of YouTube, we'd have stopped it.
Influencer charged with child abuse.
What are you talking about, Alan? You're in your corner of YouTube and will not stop. Skipping over the fucking news, obviously, because he's just filling as much of his show as he can with news at any given opportunity.
What we're looking at here is a problem we've seen ever since I've been here. We've seen neighbours report child abuse in many cases where the children have unfortunately died.
What?
If it wasn't for that brave boy climbing out the window, we'd have had a death here. She was literally starving them to death. And it's been reported. And a judge goes, no, you're not having a warrant to go in the house. How would that judge feel if those children died of starvation? How
Here
he
he,
can sleep at night?
here he comes with the questions.
And she comes across as kooky and funny and smiley.
Like you, Alan, when you do your act about being a nice guy. This is where Alan's on his actual soapbox here. Because he actually understands this aspect of it. It's a con job, isn't it, Alan? YouTube for you and this woman. You put on a face, you act a certain way, and then when the camera's off, you're a fucking nasty man.
She's a monster.
You're the monster. Looking at all those pictures of little girls all day.
Live responsibly. Where's the husband?
Right.
Okay.
How is it that Alan has been editing videos of these little girls all day and following this case and thinks it's so interesting he's got to get into it? He's got time to watch the fucking England game and yet doesn't know what's going on with the case and any of the details and all that, and he's reading it for the first time live. How has he spent more time looking at pictures of little girls than he has watching and reading and learning about this sort of stuff? It seems like his interest is focused primarily on the little girls and less on the case, as maybe, because he doesn't know anything or has no real interest in the case. He's now going to try and throw around emotional so that poor little boy and had to climb the brave little boy and where's my $20? If you want to help these poor children, give Alan $20 so he can edit videos of them and jerk off in bed about it.
So he's left. How has he let his children? He's not been arrested.
Well, that's because he wasn't there doing the child abuse, was he? He left.
Now, an off-the-cuff comment by Frankie's teenage son brought a parenting style to the attention of more mainstream audience outside of that vlogging audience, right?
There's a mainstream or not, there's a subculture on the internet, like subculture, I suppose you'd call it in terms, like sociological terms, all over the internet for different kinds of.
It's raining again. I couldn't
Big
be
ups.
happier.
Grandmaster Sid Sophos sent tippies. Scott, you are on fire tonight. Brilliant live podcast.
Thanks. I was
Super
hoping.
Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thanks, Sid. Thank you. I was hoping to try and make it more cheerful today and have a bit of a laugh because I think there are elements to laugh at, but I'm also kind of like, okay, so I raise my energy. Yeah, like when I switch off from this and play Genshin Impact's in the background, when I go back to playing that later, I'm not going to feel angry about what Alan's done on the internet. You know, I'm presenting the show, I'm talking about the topic, I've got my energy here. So Alan will probably he'll probably think, I've made him angry on this one. I've made angry Scott now. But the thing that just touches, I'd say touches a nerve for me, I've said it before, is for Alan abusing, like Alan has literally been abusive towards women on his platform and utilising children for his own grift. Like, these are lines that decent people stand up and say, this is not acceptable, this is not on. Like, other YouTubers doing good jobs of it, acceptable. Alan doing it, dirty, disgusting grift. I come back to the Queen edits for some reason here, didn't I? Yeah, subcultures on YouTube. So if you're going to be on YouTube and you've got 1 million subscribers and you're doing something like this woman, you can bet your bottom dollar there are people making videos about you and like holding you to account in some way. I call it detracting. Some people call it trolling, I suppose. Other people call it social commentary. There's a massive subculture on YouTube of people doing this sort of stuff. And certain big content creators like Darkside Phil is a good example of it. The best example I've got, you know, or the way I've turned Alan into a lol cow. You know, certain other content creators, they have their own little community around them, and it's not always a good community. They're not all people that love them and want to watch them. They're people that watch them because they don't like what they're doing and talk about it in forums and make videos and stuff. So, like, that's the YouTube world. Welcome, Alan. Welcome. Like, you know, while you were busy fucking singing songs with kids on Smule, yeah, while you were busy meeting kids for the first time on the, oh, he's waving at you. He's waving at you there, Alan. While you were busy, I don't know what you're doing with the other hand. I don't know what you're leaning over, Alan. Obviously leaning over the phone, looking at it while it's on the desk, but I don't know what you're doing with your hands. You know, while you were busy doing that, other people are out busy doing like proper stuff on the internet. And so you know nothing about it. So bring it to mainstream attention. Like, obviously, when it became a fucking news story because the kid went out and like the police went round, the mainstream American news have picked it up because she's got big numbers on YouTube. But people on YouTube talk about shit like this all the fucking time.
A comment by Frankie's teenage son brought a parenting style to the attention of more mainstream audience outside
But
of that.
I'm now critiquing the script he's reading, which was written by somebody else and may even just be a news story. So like, but look at him here as well with his hands. Like, this is subconscious feminine parts. Vlogging. He's like making a V, isn't he? But why is he making a V for vlogging? Like, he's dyslexic. He doesn't think in letters. He thinks in pictures. What's this? You fucking creepy weirdo. It's all coming out now, isn't it? Pissed up, jerking off over pictures of little girls all day on the internet, having a good old revel in your own glory.
Audience, right? Do you honestly think that us true crimers would not have reported this daily?
There are people making videos about this family all the time, detracting them.
In 2020, he spoke out of turn on camera. And he said, this is a teenager. His bedroom was taken away from him for 7 months. And he had to sleep on a beanbag in the family room after playing one prank on his brother.
Yes. That's what Queen Edits was highlighting. The fucking sleep. And they've been talking about shit like this all the time. And other people, like I'm only aware of, like, you know, like because Alan says, I don't follow it that closely. But you know, in my world of detracting, like there are a lot of like, anyway, I say my world. I'm a bit of a nouveau detractor anyway. Like, I've been watching Dark Side Phil for about 2-3 years, like Dark Side Phil style stuff. So I'm not like dyed in the wool hardcore detractor, but this battery exhausted channel has turned into a bit of a social commentary, YouTube commentary, detractor channel a bit, hasn't it? So I know what I'm talking about here.
But the trouble is, the tone of the discussion is playful and light, with Mrs. Frankie giggling. It's not funny. It's disturbing.
Isn't it? But it's bad, isn't it, Alan?
And I know a lot of you have written to me about Shanann's videos saying
What?
they were disturbing. But
now it's Shanann is as bad as this woman. No. Alan didn't say it. The people wrote to him and said it.
nobody acted about Shanann's videos when she was making them.
Nobody acted to try and protect Shanann's children from her horrific negligence while she was making videos for her pyramid selling business thing, which I personally think the pyramid selling's tacky and, like, you know, making your friends into customers not so fun really. But like, this is another level, isn't it? Because Shanann got brutally murdered and then so did the kids. So to be bringing them up in this is just fucking weird, and it shows that your brain is like on delay. It's like, you know, if you have the telly on in two different rooms, all right, I don't know if this happens anymore with the Sky telly and all that now, but do you remember when you used to have the telly on in two different rooms and you could walk between the rooms, and it's just before rewinding it, this is before you could rewind the tellis, you'd go in the other room and it'd be like, oh, this advert's still on, hang on, and you'd walk back in the other room, like the telly's slightly out of sync in the two different rooms. That's what's going on in Alan's head, like the telly's out of sync. Like, something's going wrong here.
I see a not strange paranoid.
The spoon cult in chat. I don't want a spoon cult. I don't want it to be a spoon cult. Spoon cult in chat now.
Strange paranoid, but like
spoons aren't sexy.
Nobody doing anything.
You can have your spoons.
Petition started by one demanding investigation brought thousands of signatures and child protectors record.
He does this as well. When he's reading, he was doing it on the video with I'll have to do a proper critique of the video about how to go about getting your money back from the crowdfund. He was reading things and skimming through it, and so he was going, and then it says, start recording, stop streaming, exit. Like you know, he's just slurring all the words together.
The investigation brought thousands of signatures and child protectors record. This controversy effectively marked the beginning of the end for the 8 Passengers YouTube channel.
He's a bad chuffer.
But Ruby Frankie remained active on social media, forming a new advice channel in 2022, last year, called Connections.
You don't know about Connections?
And counsellor Jodie Heidelbrand. These two made together
Hildebrand.
a small fraction of the audience say Passengers at its prime. They didn't take off. Frankie said that her venture made millions in the old days. Frankie said she left that lucrative world to save her children. To save her children. She was the one torturing the children. So she's lying as well. Let's take a bit more in-depth look at this woman.
Through the prism of the Daily Mail, who Alan has at different times said positive and negative things about, but I will say are a fucking right-wing rag, yeah? And the Daily Mail are jumping on, this goes right to the core of something else as well that we should have talked, like we had talked about with the Nicola Bulley case, which is that the mainstream media are now no longer, like, if you want to know what's going on with this Ruby Frankie stuff, you want to go to YouTube, yeah? And you want to go and watch all these people who've actually, like, maybe not that woman who was in a car, she wasn't as good as the others, but some of these people have actually been watching it for years, making videos about it for years, like, know what they're talking about, are on that tip. H3 podcasts are like, this is their world. Like, all these YouTube dramas and shit like this, you know, this will be fully talked over by properly good quality editing, good quality, you know, this is where you come for this. And 12 days ago, 8 passengers Ruby arrested. 12 days ago, this story broke on YouTube. Yeah. So don't tell me that it's a good idea to have the aggregator. So what the Daily Mail does is it takes all the other information that's out there and it has it aggregated it for it, and then it just formats it out for you in a 7-minute splurge. So, like, their perspective, the things that are slightly more right-wing about it will get put in as well. Like the Daily Mail. Like, why are you watching the Daily Mail 10 days late, Alan? 4 days ago they made this, so they were a week late on the story. Like, you're going to now play the Daily Mail news on your channel. Oh, look, there's a ladies in it. I bet Alan likes this ladies. Let's see the ladies.
Children. Now, before I get into the details about the criminal accusations against Ruby Frankie,
DailyMail.com. So I probably won't watch all this because it's DailyMail.com. So it's probably copyright Daily Mail, isn't it? You fucking nonce, Alan. Like, meanwhile, behind the scenes, Alan's had a chance to have another look at those videos of those kids.
So it's all gone. So she thinks. Well, we know, don't we, from true crime, that people take screenshots and record things. And I'm sure I can find a lot of it, and I'm going to show it to you.
Oh, you're going to get other people's clips off the clip channels and upload them to yours. Brilliant. Good job, Alan.
In weeks, as we get to know this woman. But the children, they're going to be safe. I mean, like, according to her sisters,
other people's clips with dramatic titles, desperate for a bit of clickbait, feeding off the tragedy of children's poor treatment. Good job, Alan.
Who doesn't speak to her. They have a long road to recovery, but they're safe. Thank the Lord that none of them got to the stage of death, because they would have done. Good grief. What about the husband? Well, he's spoken. He's obviously people are saying that he's guilty, right? But is he? Because he left before the.
Good Morning America. For another good solid chunk of his stream to be filled by somebody else's content.
She hasn't entered a plea yet.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much.
And I maintain this as well. Like the other day, he played someone else's podcast in basically its entirety on his show, yeah? And I maintain that he thinks that someone who's just browsing YouTube sees the live signal, the live thing. They're going live talking about this. They might tune into this and think, this is quite good. Good Morning America. I didn't realise I had a YouTube channel. I'll subscribe. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just like hoping that someone might see this and subscribe while he's not on camera. Because the minute he comes back and they think, oh, hang on, I didn't realise it was this man. Who's this man? Oh, unsubscribe. Like, you know, he's just hoping that people accidentally get served into his channel at the moments that he's not on and decide to stay and watch because other people's content is worth watching, whereas his is not.
Specifically, Ruby, of course, will be in court this Friday, and you guys, she hasn't entered a plea yet.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, Jim.
She's evil, right?
She's evil.
I think so. Well, they're going to be headed. Well, they're in jail now. We don't know what the charge is going to be, really.
Child neglect.
Police were called in September 2022.
We do know. Hang on, we do know. They do know some of the charges, don't they? I think they do know some of the charges.
They were summoned to the home, the YouTube family influencer, after a neighbour said her children were left home alone for several days. He's literally leaving his kids home alone and saying, "Watch movies, don't eat anything, don't move."
That would have been perfect for you, Alan.
Responding officer from the Springbok Vista Monster.
That would have been perfect for you, Alan. You could have gone around and do some child minding, couldn't you?
That she had a security camera video showing Frankie had been gone since September the 14th. 4 days. These little kiddies were left for 4 days on their own. Tied up.
Oh, he loves it.
Doubt.
Sweating over it. There was a little sigh there.
No doubt.
Little sigh there. Children tied up. Oh, he fucking loves it. Nonce gates back on.
Now, everybody was immediately started telling about the mother of the residents, Ruby Franks, will leave her children for extended periods of time and go to St. George and spend days on end with her friend Jodie Hildebrandt.
No.
The officer who wrote the report said he noticed children inside the home, but they were too afraid to answer the door.
Not just reading it, Alan.
Police Lieutenant Warren said that the authorities made several attempts to follow up on the allegations.
So you see, this is the equivalent of one of those, like okay, the girls that I showed you, I'm not judging them on their attractiveness, yeah? What I'm saying is they had a good quality camera. One of them had multiple camera angles. They had good lighting. They'd written a proper script. They did it their own way, with their own personality. I mean, Alan is bringing his own personality. I won't begrudge him that. They were interesting and easy to listen to. They'd edited it so they didn't have all a load of drivel. And it was their own content as well. It wasn't like they were just reading someone else's news story. They didn't have like, here is the news for 20 minutes. In comparison, you've got maybe for a different audience, maybe for a different demographic, maybe for a certain person, Alan is the perfect man to take them through this story. But for the rest of us, there are far better people to talk about it than Alan. It's just, I can't believe he's decided to, could you imagine, okay, look at it a different way. Imagine this goes so successfully for Alan and he goes bang up onto YouTube trending and he hits top trending with his rendition of this story, right? And then it's Alan and then it's that girl and that other girl and that woman in the car and they're all there at YouTube studios having their photos done together because they're going to be the face of YouTube. Like YouTube are doing a video about this case and they want them all in a thumbnail together. Like, well, did you not realise that it doesn't fit in?
Efforts by the Department of Child and Family Services yielded no results because the children refused to talk.
You notice that he has seemingly no trouble reading this stuff, even though he's supposed to be dyslexic. And that's almost like an offence to certain dyslexic people who I know have very great trouble just reading stuff off the screen like that. But what Alan does have trouble with is his comprehension. Like certain words, like the other day he didn't know what, he couldn't assume what delinquency, could he, from the report that he didn't even research it firsthand. He put it up on screen, then he said, I don't know what this means, I can't understand what this means. Like, he didn't even research it beforehand, but contributing to delinquency, and he couldn't understand the contraction of the word and what it might mean. So he could have researched it beforehand, he didn't, but he's able to read most words, but then he comes across something, and because he's not that smart, he doesn't know what it means, he says, I'm dyslexic. I couldn't on that one, I was dyslexic. But actually, it's just because he just doesn't know what things mean.
To the school resource officer assigned to the case. So they sent an officer into the school because the teachers were reporting the kids were, malnourished. So she took them out of school.
So they were raising red flags then, Alan. That contradicts what you said. That contradicts what you said earlier, doesn't it, Alan?
He found Frankie and some of her children outside. He attempted contact, but they quickly ran in the house and would not answer the door, as we know. Frankie's eldest daughter, Cherie, made the 911 call last year after a neighbour reached out to her. I think she wanted officers to make sure her siblings were safe and had food. Since her
We know which one you like, don't you, Alan? Alan loves the little girls, doesn't he? He loves peeping on the little girls. Doesn't he, Alan? Loves peeping on the little girls.
Since her mother's arrest last month, Sherry said that she was glad justice is being served against her so-called mother. She added, we've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and we're glad they finally stepped up to the plate.
I mean, bear in mind, I'm saying that, it sounds bad, Scott, saying that, but Alan just made those videos that we watched earlier of the girl under the bed, and he's been editing that and doing that in the bedroom in the morning. His Kaká sent him the script and he's read it out, and then he said, send me the videos, let me see the videos. And then he's had a look at them, not had to do any of the hard work, but he's edited some of it anyway for himself. Dirty.
A bit late. This is very concerning, isn't it? Like this day and age. I mean, I can understand it, but it's been right in everybody's eyes. Poke you in the eye.
I just had a 12-year-old boy.
Poke you in the eye.
Asking for help, and he's a.
He said, "Poke you in the eye." Now we've got Fox News, and of course, at this point, my guess is that we're reiterating the same points over and over again on the news. There, I'm not going to watch it because I cannot be asked to watch and somebody else's like, and it's copyright probably anyway.
Hospitalization for several days.
Oh yeah, hospitalization. Ruby Franks. I'm going to show you her as the ultimate Karen. I've been watching her stuff, and I made a video the other day, and I want to show you that sums her up in my eyes.
You haven't done that. That's not true. You haven't been watching her stuff because you said you didn't watch it, and you haven't made a video the other day because your videos appeared 1 day ago. So that you mean yesterday when you first, or is it today when you first became like when? Hang on, let me check. We've got Queen edits. Got Alan singing with the kid waving at him. Yeah, got that. Got Armchair Detective and Armchair Detective Red. I probably go on his channel more than anyone else in the fucking world at the moment. Armchair Detective Red videos, and he uploaded this one a day ago. So 1 day ago, September the 11th. So it's not the other day.
I've been really paying attention to my...
And it's got the adverts. Hoping for your monies. Desperate for your monies. Grifting for the monies. This is the one where he's just decided to use them in compromising positions for his own entertainment, probably. Yeah. And then mother licks cone off daughter's face, look.
Ruby Franks records her own abuse of her 6 children.
I know instantly.
Mother licks cone off daughter's face. I mean, don't make me... Why do you think Alan likes this one? Alan, mother licks cone off daughter's face, Vinnicombe. Why do you think he likes this one? Sick bastard. He's a sick bastard. This video I made the other day because I've been watching her stuff. You shouldn't be watching her stuff, Alan. You should be staying well away from this one. It makes you... It doesn't make you look like a pedo, right? At this point, you have made yourself look like a pedo so much that you just are doing things that pedos do. Like, it's not that I'm making you look like a pedo. It's not that you're making yourself... It's not that like, this case makes you look like a pedo. You have done things that only pedos do. Yeah? And you're doing it now.
Absolutely sums her up, her entitled attitude. That I'm seeing a lot on YouTube lately, entitled people.
AD here. Welcome to 6 victims, 8 passengers. Ruby Frankie. Her life and
bringing God along with her. This woman now needs a psychiatrist. So, right, so to sum up then, she's 41 years old. She hangs around with this Jodie woman who's 54. And they're arrested on 2 counts of the child abuse. Later upgraded to 6 felonies. They were 300 miles south of Salt Lake City, Springville, Utah. So they've been charged. This is all new. Now the neighbor gave the child water and food. The police were upset. The neighbors were upset. The 10-year-old girl
I'll get the Discord down.
was even worse. There's going to be an arraignment. Made a virtual court appearance on September the 8th, which was delayed because there was 1,300 people in the courtroom. 1,300 TikTokers turned up. We're going about the bully case where 4 or 5 TikTokers turned up at St. Michael's on Weir. 1,300 turned up. Can you imagine? We're like naive.
Fucking hell, Alan. He's literally just read it for the first time. So I suppose in some ways what's good about that, I'll give you the Tippy's link as well. In some ways what's good about that is that he's actually doing a real reaction, a live reaction. But in other ways, like, he has no concept. Like I said, all these TikTokers turned up. I forgot about the TikTokers. I forgot because I'm a YouTuber. Like, I'm not on. And I tell you what, TikTok. When I first looked on TikTok a couple of years ago, I said this is a load of young girls doing like dancing, and I don't think me at like 30 something belongs on here. So I'm going to swerve it. Like, good luck with them and their dancing. I mean, obviously, I'm not dissing TikTok here. It's a lot more than that these days, isn't it? But when I looked on it those years ago, I said, good luck with it. I'll just swerve that. Like, it's a bit like Instagram as well. Like, Instagram, like I know a lot of people who are Instagram influencers or like on that path or in that way through work with photography and modeling. And like it's not. I never thought, oh, that's a good place for me. Like I fit in there with all those people. Like so, I just decided not to. I sort of swerved Instagram. I'm quite like when he says stay in your lane. In some ways, like in terms of like where we are. But for Alan, okay, so I don't like talking about myself all the time in these episodes. It's about Alan, isn't it? What I'm saying is, like, he doesn't understand social media as it is, does he? And all the TikTokers, I wonder what he's been looking at on TikTok. God help everyone's children. At least he's, well, I was going to say, at least he's focused on this particular, no, it's not that good, is it? Like, Alan's he's been doing the worst thing. This is the worst thing. I can't believe he's done this. I can't believe he's done this. He's spent all day editing pictures of little girls, and now he's going to expose himself for being completely the wrong person to narrate this tale.
All this on our little corner of YouTube here with the Ruseks and the what's thing, and they've got this is massive, right, compared to us, massive. So they're accused of causing and permitting serious injury in 3 different ways through a combination of physical injuries, torture, starvation and malnutrition, and severe emotional harm. They're going to remain in jail. There's no bail for these women. Everyone's heard the call. I don't want to play it anymore. But the kid was so conditioned and groomed, I suppose, that he was saying, it's okay. My mum said nothing wrong. Please, we're okay.
Did he say groomed? Did he say groomed? They're his parents, Alan.
He had sores all over his body. Prosecutors allege Frankie and Howard Brown either caused it or allowed someone to torture these 2 starving children. Now that's interesting that the prosecutors are saying they allowed someone to torture the children. Now, Frankie was seen filming in the home days before the arrest, meaning, of course, she's aware of the deteriorating condition of those children. You can't deny she knew because she was there 2 days before. Okay, she built a strong following on social media because of a strict, no-nonsense parenting approach. In one TikTok video, she said,
when are we going to get the bit where Alan does the Alan bit? Because he's reading other people's content and playing other people's content. Now, we've had a little bit of him talking, and it was good fun to react to. But then the news is other people's content, yeah? The clips of other people's videos are other people's content. The bits where you're talking, Alan, should be you, but you're reading this off someone else's content. And you could say, but this is a script that Kaka has written. That might be the case, but she seems to have copy and pasted a lot of it off the news. So, like, having you read the news doesn't cut it unless you read a little bit and then turn to camera and say, right, now I think this and I think this, and someone in chat says this, and this is, and you make a discussion out of it. You can't just keep reading the news. It drags and it's obvious.
Frank said the kids are literally starving. My kids are literally
like, you could achieve what you, if you think you're raised, like he said, in our corner of true crime world, meaning the 10 people that watch him, in his world, they haven't got this going on, like, but it's all over everywhere else on YouTube and TikTok. So he's bringing it to them, possibly bringing it to his audience, but he could just do that in a sort of 10-minute video saying, there's this woman on YouTube, it's gone really bad for her. These are the channels that are covering it. I think this and I think that. Like, he doesn't have to, this doesn't have to have been a special event live, we're going to cover it for, like, this is our new case for Alan, did it? Like, he just fills time.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier. Swish!
Jackie sent tippies. Alan makes me feel sick. Big ups the MIMPS.
Big ups everyone who feels
Super
sick.
Chuffer owes 5 hugs.
Big ups everyone who feels sick.
because I wouldn't feed them breakfast until they did all the chores.
Thank you for the tips. Thank you.
Now, this is not parenting to teach children stuff. This is cruelty.
Come on, Alan. Tell us about your
In another
parenting.
video, Frankie shared, she and her husband, Kevin.
No anecdotes about parenting? I mean, you've raised children, haven't you, Alan? Or did you just leave them and then let other people raise them? Is that what like, no anecdotes about your own parents?
Told the two youngest children they wouldn't be getting any Christmas presents because they were selfish and weren't responding to the punishment they were being handed out. They share 6 children between them. It's because they're so numb, and the more numb your child is, the bigger the outcome. They need to wake them up. So no presents for you two. You can watch the others open their presents, but no presents for you.
That's awful.
This is worse than Scrooge, right? Now, her channel was launched in 2015, where she chronicled the Mormon family's activities, her parenting style, and home renovations, amongst other things. And of course, YouTube have now acted. Too late.
Fucking always dissing YouTube. Why don't you just fuck off then? Like, I shouldn't tell him this because this could be the making of him. Could you imagine if this happened? I mean, we would all get a fucking break from it over here on YouTube, but I shouldn't tell him this. Maybe I shouldn't tell him this. I don't know if I should tell him this. Other streaming sites are available. For example, Rumble is a streaming site where particularly right-wing people go when they're binned off YouTube. But you can go there and you can stream and you can upload, and Rumble exists. Their rules are a little bit less, a bit more slack over on Rumble. But Rumble does exist. Rumble, if I just type it in again, Rumble. Just get it on the old thing there, Rumble. Oh, you can't see it properly here because the way my screen is fitting on this. Hang on. That didn't help. That made it worse. Okay, it doesn't matter, you can't see it. It's called Rumble and it's basically like a shit YouTube. Alan can go over there.
According to our website,
The wrong Missy says she actually likes it. I haven't really checked it out much. I just know that the people that I've seen that are binned off from YouTube for being too right-wing have ended up over there. So I felt like I don't really want to be part of that ecosystem. But yeah, if Alan thinks YouTube is so bad all the fucking time, he doesn't have to watch it and he can fuck off.
Brand, the founder of Connections Classroom, which offer counselling services.
Oh yeah, if he gets banned, he'll be on those other sites. So only Dover and Dolly's mum. Good call, yeah. Like,
Bio lister is receiving a bachelor's degree in English and a master's in educational psychology. Although she doesn't say where she got the degrees. Rather like Claire Morgan. I am a solicitor, but I can't find the proof.
It's all about you.
Frankie eventually joined Hildebrand to co-host the Parenting Advice podcast. Clips have since resurfaced online, of course, where the co-hosts spout xenophobic views, downplay eating disorders, and blame rape victims as their own.
And you guarantee he's looking at pictures on the screen of these kids while he's talking to you, whereas we're not. He's not colouring his stream with any imagery, but you know full well he's looking at it, and he's got a fucking file on his computer now, pictures of the kids being abused. Might need them for my show.
Oh, this is like weird. What about the husband? He was not arrested, so he's not in the crosshairs of the authorities, although his whereabouts on the day of his wife's arrest remains unclear. Now, Kevin himself is no stranger to controversy. In 2020...
I like it when he does, like... There's this moment... Okay, I'm going to just break down a very small moment for a little bit. You're just going to have to deal with me.
So he's not in the crosshairs of the authorities.
He's not in the crosshairs of the authorities, gets this.
So he's not in the crosshairs of the authorities.
He was crunching, he's angrily...
So he's not in the crosshairs of the authorities.
Gets that. This is razzle dazzle. He's like, it's almost like, imagine you're reading the script for the first time and you think, when he gets to that bit, I might go, he's not in the crosshairs of the authorities. Like, you know, it's almost like he's putting a bit of razzle dazzle like a performer, but because he's reading the script for the first time, it's happening in small little things. It's not, you know, he's not reading it, internalizing it, and then delivering it to camera with the appropriate gestures. And then he follows this one.
So his whereabouts...
And he plays with something in his hand here. Has he got a poker chip in his hand or something, or is he just doing that? I don't know. But
on the day of his wife's arrest remains unclear. Now, Kevin himself is no stranger to controversy.
And the finger comes up. It's such a small gesture, you can't really, like, looks like his little weenus has come up. But the finger comes up, and it's like, now, he can't leave the script. He can't take his eyes from it, but he wants to turn to camera and talk to you and say, now, Kevin himself is no... Sorry about this squeaky chair. I'm definitely going to be getting one soon. Now, Kevin himself He's no stranger to controversy. You know, he wants to kind of do something like that. But because he's stuck to the script that he's never read before, so he can't deviate from, can't take his eyes off, he only does this sort of micro gesture and brings his finger up. So he's like not quite doing what he's in his mind. I think he believes he's, you know, delivering on YouTube and talking to camera and talking to, he doesn't realize that he's actually just reading something out, and there's a marked difference. But like the little finger comes up, it's just a little weird couple of gestures, like, and it
crosshairs of the authorities.
Like, it reminds me, like I said, of someone who's rehearsing something, and then later, like maybe as he retells this, like if he's going to do this for weeks and weeks, he will start to create his own script in his head that he'll like, oh, this is a moment, this is a bit, and like this guy, and like, I don't know, like, but it feels like he's not quite doing a proper performance of his own. It's like we're watching a live rehearsal of something that's never going to actually be performed, like a script read. That's because that's what it is, isn't it? A script read, so to speak. And I know from script reads of content creation that if you do want to camera, you can have a live stream and do it as a script read on a live stream, but you've got to then look at the camera, talk to the camera. You know, you go back and read a bit of the script and then turn to the camera, and you've got to be able to remember at least 2 or 3 of these lines as you turn to the camera and then deliver them. Like, at least. Like, you can't just take your eyes off for a second just for a finger. But Alan, it's like he's addicted to the script as more than anything, isn't he? Like, he's not addicted to it. That's the wrong word. He's attached to it. Like it's like his life belt on this stream. Like he's drunk. That's part of it, isn't it? Look, you can see the panic in his eyes. It's like he's drunk and he's hanging on to this script like it's his torch or his life belt. You know, this keeps him on track. This keeps him doing the show. As long as you sit here and read this, it's all going to go well. The bits where you start talking and being yourself, it starts to go wrong. Shut up and read the script, Alan. That's what he's thinking in his head, because he's drunk and he knows he could at any moment say the wrong thing because he's a cunt.
Whereabouts on the day of his wife's arrest remains unclear. Now, Kevin himself is no stranger to controversy. In 2020, Kevin was criticised after he and Frankie forced their oldest son to sleep on a beanbag for 7 months. That's not right, is it? Because he pranked a younger brother to pack a suitcase for a fake trip to Disneyland. I mean, 7 months.
Sorry, that made me laugh. Pranking a younger brother to do a fake trip to Disneyland, that made me laugh. Once my dad took us, and I'm not saying he was a bad father, this was a good father doing a good thing, because he said to me, where do you want to go? Like, because my parents had divorced, so like he would see us at weekends, like every other weekend or something. Like, it would be like a go somewhere thing, yeah, going somewhere. And like, where do you want to go? And I said Drayton Manor. Like, it's a theme park. I said I wanted to go to the theme park. So he said, okay, and we drove there. And when we got there, it was closed. Because it was winter, and they don't open in the winter for everyone to go on all the rides all the time. It was closed. But it was open to go and walk around the ornamental lake or whatever. I mean, this is before Google. Like, he didn't know. Like, we just drove us, he thought it might be open, and it wasn't. So I was disappointed. But we got to walk around the ornamental lake, and I broke into the ghost house. So,
Tell you one that frightened me. She's laughing, and she's saying, right, my 10-year-old son is going to go away to camp. We gave him other options, and this was the least controversial for him. We're going to send him to a camp in the wilderness where he has to live.
someone said this the other day. It looks like he's got hair. Like, it looks like the darkness of his hat and the way the shadows are going. It looks like he's almost got hair. It might be a feature of the filter.
For 3 months on what food you can find in the wilderness. Not on his own. It's a course, right? So the kid says, I don't want to go, Mum. He says, you go.
What was that?
To look after yourself.
The full hand wipe, the full face wipe.
Right? So the kid says, I don't want to go, Mum.
What was that?
He says, you go in.
A full face wipe. He's got his glasses on while he does it.
Wilderness. Not on his own. It's a course, right? So the kid says, I don't want to go, Mum.
Like, this is narcissists, right? A funny set of body language. They're not body language like normal people. Like, what? He's got his glasses on, so you're not rubbing your eyes here.
He says, you go in.
Big. Was it the cap, or did he want it? And then he took his hand. What was that?
You need to learn to look after yourself. So he says to her, well, what do I need to pack? So she phones up the thing. She says, I've never been to the wilderness. Let me, I'll phone up and check. So she goes and phones up and says, well, all you got to pack is 26 pairs of underwear. What? Just underwear? I'm gonna be there just in underwear.
Oh. Regardation police in the chat. Alan does your work for you sometimes, doesn't he? I can see that this is going to be fun.
What? Just underwear? I'm gonna be there just in underwear. What? Just underwear? I'm gonna be there just in underwear. What? Just underwear? I'm gonna be there just in underwear.
I don't know at this point, right? Because I said that his recent offerings were a bit boring and that his recent streams were a bit shit. And so I thought, you know, not so good, bit shit, bit boring. And we've got a Nicola Bully drop to drop, actually. We've got his last Nicola Bully stream that I need to drop this week, otherwise it will get dated. He has kind of almost responded by giving us all what we want. I don't know if he knows he's doing it, or if part of his subconscious is driving him to do it, because have you not seen Regardation Police, Alan? Do you not know that if you say shit like this, maybe that was the big hand wipe, like I said, because he knew he was about to say this shit, and now he's having to say this, and now what's going to happen? But it's almost like he's doing things to make it worse.
So she goes and finds him and says, well, what all you got to pack is 26 pairs of underwear. What? Just underwear? I'm going to be there just in underwear. And no socks, no shoes. No, just underwear. And she laughed.
I'm laughing.
She thought it was freaking hilarious that this kid was frightened out of his head that he's going to go and live in the jungle, effectively, with 26 pairs of underpants in his suitcase. They're sick.
You were sick, Alan.
What she did to this, and she's laughing about it.
You like kids, Alan. Not in that good way, in the bad way.
Well, I'll show another one. I've made a number of these, which I'm going to add to, because they're no longer on YouTube, so I'm doing my best to chronologically collect them all if I can.
I told you to collect them all. I'm doing my best to chronologically collect them all if I can. What are you talking about? Other people are doing that, like, they're no longer on YouTube. Yeah, don't worry about it, Alan. Other people have got that covered. Like, the people who have been chronologically collecting and editing this family for years. Yeah, they've got that covered. You are not required here, right, Alan? You are not required to chronologically and collect videos of little girls. Oh, it's research. What, in amongst those videos of those little girls, there's a video of an actual piece of child? Oh, I didn't realise. Because it must have just been sent to me by someone by accident. So, you know, again, police need to be checking his hard drives on a regular basis, this man. He shouldn't be allowed hard drives. He needs to be on the register. Alan. You're creepier than Jimmy Savile's ghost.
To share with people in the future.
To share with people in the future. To try and grift money off on YouTube, or to sell to other paedophiles as part of your catalogue of dark web CP that you share, like pizza.
Of just how bad this woman was.
Pizza orders.
As these become more and more rare, I have them.
Come out.
Get the oldest daughter that's now refusing to speak to her years ago. One of the younger children.
Come out.
You like her, don't you, Alan, with her hairdo?
His bed.
Get out.
You right, Alan?
She found dead skin. Come out.
Get out from underneath my
What are the odds that Alan's masturbating now live on stream while we watch this?
I write that song.
You wrote that song, Dead Skin?
What are the odds that Alan's got his Tadger out now in his hand now, thinking, ha, they're watching this and I've got my Tadger in my hand. Got one over on everyone.
Look at me. You're going straight to bed and you don't get dessert today.
Like, do you remember as well, they had videos like this shit with the Ruseks and, sorry, the the what's case. And like Alan had to go through all those videos as well, and he still did all the content that he did, which is fucking savage.
And throw them in the garbage can. We had family dinner, and I was looking and looking and looking for Eve, and I was like,
we watched this earlier. Alan's just playing it, and he's not saying anything. So he's playing his own video from earlier. And it's videos of kids like in compromising positions. So instead of watching that, I'm just going to skip on. Yeah.
Alone, I need some space. No.
He had it on repeat on loop there. Did you notice it played back at the start again automatically? Alan had that set to loop. No, you saw it then. There's the end of the video.
I'm alone, I need some space. No.
There's the start of the video. How's that happened? It's because he's got it set to loop, yeah?
Yeah.
Been looping that video, Alan? Have you been looping that video of that little girl under the bed being dragged out? Alan? Sometimes I'm shocked, actually. Sometimes I'm shocked. I thought I was going to have, like, I'll say a funny one like Malcolm Tucker. You're such a bad chuffer that I would take your ham hands and stuff them so far up your bum you can taste, taste prosciutto. I'll take your ham hands, I'll stuff them so hard up your own bum that you can taste prosciutto. That's your ham prosciutto, isn't it? It's kind of ham, like, it's kind of meat from. Anyway, look, like, but instead of that, I was shocked just because he's got it on a loop. So why do you need that video on a loop on your desktop there, Alan, of the kids? Shorts loop like that. Was that a short? I think it was one of his videos. It was longer than a short, and it was in portrait, so it wasn't a short. It was one of his straight up videos. Like there's a button on YouTube that you can press for autoplay, and I'm sure there is a setting for loop somewhere. I've accidentally made it into the mini player now, which was a mistake. So let's go back to that. I'm pretty sure there's a loop somewhere, or maybe he had to do it on his desktop. I don't know.
It's a difficult watch, isn't it? It's like
it's a difficult watch, is it? In some ways, I found it quite awkward, to be honest. I've stated why, because it feels like we're viewing the world through the eyes of you, which is a pedo.
Stepford Wives meets Laurie Vallow, and I can't grasp it. I guess
you did grasp it earlier, and you had a good old grasp of it earlier. You had a good old squeeze, didn't you? The little Willicum Venus, the little Willicum Venus, the little Vinnicombe Venus. You know what I'm trying to say?
Grasp it because millions of people saw it, and nobody did anything about it. No,
I'm doing something about you.
She's spoken out.
Same as you, Alan. Millions of people have seen you, and lots of people have tried to do stuff about you, and I'm one of them. I'm not going to say others have not succeeded, but I think they all need to just jump on the bandwagon a little bit here and just start talking a bit more sense about this, to be honest. Oh, you said he was a pedo. You said he just keeps saying he's a pedo. Look, there's a video of him here. This is not a duet where the kid was later on added or anything like that. They were in a live room together. It was called a... what was it called? A collaboration room, and there were more than one, and he was looking on his phone at like different, he could have picked the different screens, and there were kids, and this one waves at him. Hello, Alan. Hello, waving. What the hell are they doing? What's going on there? Don't tell me it's innocent and it's just wiped off as him being a bit of a bumbling idiot on the app. That's ridiculous. Come on.
She hasn't spoke to her mum for some
Big
time.
ups, Nigel.
Now they're all YouTubers.
Right click on video for loop. See, you can do it. There you go. Right click, and there you go. I say there you go. Copy video URL, copy embed code, debug, troubleshoot, stats for nerds. It didn't let me do it, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. Wait, maybe I can scroll down on that. Look, you can loop the videos.
Ruby's got sisters. They're YouTubers. Sherry's now Instagrammer, I think. Or
Instagrammer, TikTok.
So she went to Instagram story and celebrated her mother's.
Have you been watching her on Instagram and TikTok? Have you been looking at their Instagrams and their TikToks, Alan? Have you been recording all of those in case they need to be recorded for for evidence later.
Rest. Today's been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. I've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this. So glad they finally decided to step up. Now, this daughter has been putting this all over TikTok, Instagram for years. Arrest my mother. She's harming my sisters and brothers and siblings.
So that totally goes against the thing that you said at the start, which is why has no one done anything about this? Why has no one raised a red flag? We need to look into this. And it turns out that as you look into it, the things you said earlier seem naive and poorly thought out.
No one did anything. What about her family? Her sisters? Ellie, Mitchell, Bonnie, and Julie.
Why does it look like you've got hair? What is that going on with that cap? What's going on with it? Why does it look like he's got hair going on?
They made a statement between them that said this on Instagram.
Has someone done something on your head? What's going on with that? Ideas in the chat, please. Ideas in chat, please. What's going on with Alan's head? Is that the filter? Are they scratches? Has he been bopped on the head? Is it just his normal hair pushed forward in some way? I didn't think it goes that far forward. Is it a shadows? Oh, I can't loop a live stream. Yeah, good point. Good point, Nigel. See, Nigel's smart about this. I'm glad I have Nigel to help me out. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be streaming like I am now. Do you think it's someone's drawn on it with like a Sharpie? Someone says. I need ideas for what's going on with his hat. Why it looks like he's got hair underneath his hat.
For the last 3 years, we've kept quiet on the subject of our system.
It's not moving around while he's moving, is it? There's something under his hat there. And he did that head rub earlier. Was it hurting?
Ruby, Frankie, for the sake.
Like, what is it? Maybe he coloured his hair and he has to wear a hat to hide it. Or you think there's streaks on his head and some shit like that? Because his hair doesn't start there, it starts much further back.
Of our children. In other words, if we said something.
He's brought a wig, someone says. Do you think he's got wiggy hair under there, right? I mean, we talked about this before, and his hat came off sometime, and then it wasn't. There was nothing under it, but it looked. And so someone mentioned it in chat sometime before, and I was like, yeah, maybe it's just a thing, I don't know. But like now it really looks strongly like there's something going on his head.
Would she harm?
If he had a wig on, right, and then he went out somewhere and pushed someone in the river, and they described him, and they described a man with like, you know, scruffy black hair, and then he goes off and then the wig comes off, or do you think he wears the wig to try and look sexy, to try and pull a ladies? Like, what's going on? I don't know if it is a wig. I don't know if it's something else.
Them more. We get this a lot, don't we? We get this a lot. People are afraid to speak out because they are afraid that it'll ratchet it all up. I know people that do this.
He's itching. He's itching his head as well. He's having a good odd scratch as well today. But through the thing here, you can see on these sideburns it's grey, so I don't look like he's been colouring the sideburns.
That
But he looks like
hate these people because they're scared of them losing their temper.
Let's put him down
Behind
here.
the public scene, we've done everything we could try to make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing our most recent events. They're worried about their YouTube channels. They're trying to get public sympathy. Remember what happened to Zabgo when she did those photos? Her viewings plummeted, right? Well, these sisters, they're worried about their viewing figures.
What?
Once we do, we will not be commenting it further. The statement continues. Rulers and arrested.
He's just said that the children are worried about their viewing figures. Like, what the children think and feel about things right now might not be how they think and feel about it in some years to come after some counselling. So it's okay for them to make statements and to us to not criticise them too heavily because they've just come through this fucking system of being brought up by this woman. So maybe in some years to come they might reflect and think slightly differently. So do you think he's copying the wig? The original wig? Where's the original wig? Ask and ye shall receive. It's $10 tippy for the wig. If we reach the $100 tip goal, I'll wear the wig. Look, do you think he's copying the original wig? It's the original wig, wham bam. The wig is back. The wig has returned.
which needed to happen. Jodie was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is our #1 priority.
Like the crazy Russian hacker, safety is our #1 priority.
Deleted YouTube video. One of the sisters and family members tried to intervene before Frankie's arrest. My sister and I are on the very same page, and for the last 3 years, we've truly clung on to each other, offering support to one another. And I don't think any of us could ever have seen this coming, but they saw it coming. And they were all too busy making money on YouTube. We did as much as we could legally. You don't know what you don't know.
Hang on.
So what about the neighbours?
What about the neighbours?
The neighbour who lived near Frankie's for about 5 years and spoke anonymously noticed red flags long before the arrest. I think we saw some weird things, the neighbour said, but I don't think anybody thought these kids were being physically abused to that degree. One of the biggest red flags, the neighbour said, was last year when the family's two youngest went from hailing around the neighbourhood to suddenly disappear from public view. The two youngest got it worse, guys. The two youngest were the ones that tortured. So she started to isolate the kids. We saw their presence in the neighbourhood daily, and then we quit seeing the youngest two anywhere around. There was a big change. It didn't point to criminal behaviour, just like curious, what happened to the two young ones? Well, the two young ones got the worst of it.
Do not tell me that is not a man trying hard not to smile. The two young ones got the worst of it. Let's make a t-shirt, Alan Vinnicombe. The two young ones got the worst of it. Oh, the t-shirt competition's still on, isn't it? We need to fucking do a stream about that tomorrow. Should have done it today. Should have spoke about it again today. Get your entries into the Angry Alan Art competition. Check out the video that says, can you win £100? If you haven't already, get your entries in. We're going to do that this week at the end of the week, probably Friday.
Didn't point to criminal behaviour, just like curious, what happened to the two young ones? Well, the two young ones got the worst of it.
Good old Alan.
This is very, very strange and interesting story that I want to delve into this, guys. This is just
I bet you do. I bet you do.
First episode, of course, on the subject. But
no, it's just your first episode on the subject, but your fourth news outlet to cover it on the show while you do something else. Like, and again, it's not fair use because Alan is not commenting on it. He's not pausing it. He's not creating something transformative with it. He's just playing the news on his show. It's not fair use. It's not that he's, using this, commenting about it in any way. It doesn't. His use of it there is not fair use, copyright. It's copyright problematic. He's bad, and he just does it to fill time because he hasn't got anything to say. Maybe he got a little woody then when he was talking about the little kids, and he needed to just have another little fumble. Whatever he's doing while he's not on camera, maybe he's drinking. Whatever it is, he doesn't want to be on camera good solid chunks of his own stream, so he just plays the news.
Not just abusing the children physically and mentally, but abusing their life. I mean, making them these little actors to make money. YouTube is in big trouble by this. YouTube don't really clean up anything, do they?
YouTube
Look
again.
What they allow trolls to do.
It was YouTube.
It is the Wild West. Look what trolls can say to other people. They can call people a P. They can call people a drug addict. They can make all sorts of accusations. YouTube need to clean up their act, right?
That's rich coming from him, isn't it? You know when someone makes a birthday cake and they do like someone's face in cake? Like they make a birthday cake and it looks like your face. And you're like, oh, look, he looks like me. That's what Alan actually looks like. He looks like his actual own birthday cake. He's a cake-faced man. He looks like someone's made him out of birthday. It's made worse by the filter. But, it's the consistency of his flesh as well. Cakey. Big ups, Trisha. Big ups. Big ups. I just want to lay into him for a little bit, really. No. He looks like, when you go on Morrison's, yeah, you go to Morrison's and you go up the value bit at the deli. You know, when you go at the value bit of the deli and you can get like, I don't do this anymore because I don't eat meat, do I? But you go at the value bit of the deli and you can get like the bits at the offcut of the ham. Like and like you've got like 2 or 3 slices and then the bit at the end that's sort of like gnarled and has been on the machine, that the offcut of the ham, the bit at the end. That's Alan's body looks like it's made up of those pieces. Alan is one chicken satay short of a Chinese banquet. Alan's a bad man. Alan's a bad chuffer. He's a skanky, nasty, horrid, bad chuffer. And today, he's at his grimy worst. And we all know, Tricia, if you just joined us.
Kaz sent tippies. Super Chuffer owes 20 hugs.
Thank you. 20? Fucking hell, that's loads. Thank you. Thank you, Kaz. Thank you. If you just joined us, Alan today has decided to cover, well, what he's been doing today. What Alan's been doing today is he's been making videos about this family. It's a story on YouTube. She did a channel where she had the perfect kids and ran the perfect household and all that business, but lots of people were picking her up on the fact that she was a bit overbearing and actually very, very strict. And then it turned out that she was guilty of child abuse, arrested. Like, one of the kids escaped the house and said, look what's going on in for real. And then Alan spent some time today making videos of kids.
I want to take all.
He's getting AdSense revenue from it, and he thinks that it's going to trend on YouTube. He's a week late for this, but he thinks he's going to get the trending YouTube. He's going to get something go viral. And if you just get one video go viral, then that's like, you know, you might get $1,000 off it or something. And so he's picked these videos of kids in compromising positions to spend his day editing and looking at and enjoying in some way. Probably jerking off over them if we know Alan. And we do know Alan. And then he likes this one as well. Where you put a little bit of a talking bit at the start. But the reason he likes this one the most... Oh, no, I've clicked the wrong video there, have I? Hang on. This one... No, it is this one. The reason he likes this one the most is because it reminds him of Mother licks cone off daughter's face. Like, he's able to, in his imagination, put a sexual overtone to this video because she's wearing the lipstick, she's got the ruffled up hair, there's a young daughter, it's Mother licks cone off daughter's face, and Alan really likes that one, so he put that on his channel as well. Because he's a horrible, seedy, horrible man. So that's what's happening on today's episode. And it's not that I make Alan look like a pedo. I've said this a bit earlier. It's that Alan does things himself that when you look at them on the internet, I didn't make him sing with these kids on Smule. That kid's waving at him. Look, watch. He waves at him. That kid waves at him. Yeah. When you put these things together, like when you add it up and see it for what it is. Like, oh, Alan's just spent the day editing videos of kids because he wants some viral views on the internet because he thinks it's a bit like a lottery and you might win some money. Alan's got no interest in this family or their story. He never really has. They've been on the internet for ages. This story's been going on for weeks. Alan's not interested. He just likes little kids and viral views, and he gets to pretend that the reason he's editing videos of kids is because he's doing it for his channel and it's for viral views, and that covers up his the subtext, which is that he's a paedophile. But he's done it himself. This is his content. I haven't done it. He's done it.
They just do. Wow.
And people are like, oh, you don't think he's a paedophile for real, do you? Listen, I think Alan enjoys control and power, and I think that he views young girls like sex objects or money objects. Like, I don't think he thinks about people's feelings, and like the fact that he searched that pornography, like that's his favourite thing that he searched for. Like Mother licks cone off daughter's face. That's what he searched for. It wasn't like he just accidentally clicked on a video amongst other videos or whatever. He searched for it, yeah? Like, you know, there be the man. Like, what do you want me to do?
Cruelty that 2 million people have watched. You watch this cruelty here that Ruby inflicts on her young children, and yet gets away with it.
Ruby Frankie, 8 passengers. The worst mum. Well, I guess there's worse mums. Cruel.
I guess there's worse mums. And this really annoys me, is because it says this song is lost. Like, you see that words on the screen, yeah? We saw earlier, there's this channel that I've watched in the past called Queen Edits. I don't watch lots of it. recently I watched one of their compilations because like this thing kicked off. Well, I suppose this one was from 2 years ago, so like when did I watch it? Anyway, look, the most popular, like, you know, they make these compilations.
Kids looking for a pocket knife in your purse because the graphics girls are always supposed to have pocket.
See how the words are on the screen? It's a feature of this editor that it's like detracting. Like they clip all the funny bits and the bits that make them look bad parents, and they put them on videos. And like they put these words on the screen, so you can see that Alan's taken his content from someone else's content, and like he hasn't gone through the videos that are originally on the channel of this. Like he's gone to someone else that clips it and stolen their clips for his video, and like not acknowledged it and said, oh, this is a good channel that like has clips that I've been using. And like,
Knife, you don't.
Thanks, Newman. What are we doing?
see how the words come up? So like it's not gone and referenced who he's stolen the content off. He's just stealing content again. And for Alan, he thinks all these other YouTubers, look here on the list, like all these other YouTubers getting the monies. This one's got nearly 300,000 views because she's done a proper video about it. Like, you know, he thinks he can just walk in there, look, do a thumbnail, steal someone else's clip. There's my monies. Let the monies roll in. It's a YouTube feeding frenzy, and Alan's on the bottom of the dirt pile, like skunking around on the ocean floor, like sucking bones, sucking little kids. Alan's sucking little kids, like doing little edits. There's my channel. I'm not doing that. There's Alan.
Cruel mother, abusing her children, punishing her children relentlessly, daily. Here's an example of a little boy scared stiff of his mother who happened to put his socks on the pathway. You go and pick up those socks. The poor little victim was forced to do, what should we say?
I think, like I said earlier, I think what's happened here is that Alan's been sent some script and they said read it, and then he sent it back and they've edited it over the pictures. I don't think he's doing his own edits at this stage for everything, because I don't know if he's capable, and I don't think he wants to. And I think someone else behind the scenes that pays Alan, or is on his Spanish team, probably that pays him, really doesn't like this woman, doesn't like this. They're into this story. They think it's a good idea. They've sent him the script. They know the story. He doesn't, and he's just reading it. He's in his bed in the morning, and they've suggested different things to him. And he's like, oh, God, I like this one, actually. After they've sent him a couple of videos of kids, he likes this one, and he's got a reason to get into it. So now he's doing his script read, and he doesn't know it. Like with this thing about the kid in the socks, he hasn't been watching this family. He doesn't have any context and understanding of how they behave and their, their behaviour, really. He's just saying, oh, and he must have felt bad. Poor kid picking up his socks. He's never seen the video. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like,
it's raining
a forfeit.
again. I couldn't be happier.
Swish, and then swoosh.
Anita sent tippies. Alan gets way too excited. Thank you, Chuffer. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it as well. Way too excited. Like you get this vibe about it that whether it's the money, like maybe Trisha should do a reading on this one. Like we need to get Trisha on. Like I need to set up a system where I can just be like, come on now. It's midnight, so maybe now's not the best time, but like we need to do a reading on this. Like, you know, Alan's motivations. Like I know that money came out before, but is this one pure money, or does he like the kids? Like I feel really unhappy about it. Like instinctively gut instinct on this one, you know, because I did look at this story. Like I said, it's not about me, but many YouTubers have covered this story, and I think there are some YouTubers to whom the story sits better in their content. And the other YouTubers, like I've got an in with this because I could say she's a nutter, she's a lolcow, you know, these are strange nutters on the internet. Have you seen this? But then I'm also doing videos about kids and editing videos about kids, and you know, having to deal with like child abuse on the channel, like head on. Like not really my favorite, so decided not to. But like, I see YouTubers like this, and I think good for you doing a good video on this. Like you probably were watching these videos and thinking about this subject, and you know it's probably in your ballpark. And like, hang on, I'm just going to pick this one.
Welcome to Sapphire. We're not here to.
2, 1, bang! Like this is Alan's competition in this field. Remember?
So, why don't I just do like the influencer not gasp, like the
dog yes.
Can you see her?
I can't see anything in the viewfinder, honestly. Phoebe, please. You've been such a major part of these videos for the last few videos. Say hello
I tell you what, I already feel a little bit uncomfortable, like I'm in some young girl's bedroom.
to everyone, and then say goodbye to everyone. Okay. So, I actually have been gone for like a week because all the news has been so dark recently, and I just...
So I imagine the 90,000 people who have watched this are people that like listening to her talk and are more on her wavelength, yeah? Do you know what I mean? So I don't see Alan fitting in this world. I don't see him getting the viral views that he thinks he's going to get. I think he realises it's reached mainstream and he thinks that he can bring it to his audience, and his audience of older ladies are going to be absolutely appalled at the child abuse, and he can grift and grind and fight his way to the top again, utilising children's suffering as his ladder. But he doesn't belong here, and he's not going to succeed here. That's just like, that's for sure. That's a certainty.
For leaving the socks on the drive.
Oh, bless you. Okay, Trisha, bless you.
And the daughter looks at her mum in the same way. This isn't a mother that the kids look up to. It's a mother that they're afraid of.
I thought this was going to be a good laugh, and we've had a bit of a laugh about it, but it has got a dark edge, hasn't it? I mean, who's put this... I don't think Alan puts his thumbnails together either, but like, this doesn't look like the sort of content that should be on Alan's phone.
How she got away with it for so long, I never know. All the flags were there for years, and she had 2 million subscribers.
Not going anywhere unless you pick up your junk.
Fear in his little eyes.
Obviously, this is a young boy that climbed out the window because he's the youngest boy, right?
And now we're getting Alan on Alan layers of edited Alan and talking Alan. I don't know which Alan's which now. Maybe he identifies with the young boy with fear in his eyes, scared of his mommis. I don't know. Tell me, Alan. I want to have a good talk to Alan about his mommis as well.
Dear little face.
Daren't smile. Daren't say anything. Look at the passive-aggressive behaviour that Ruby puts on here for the camera to see.
Passive-aggressive? She's fucking aggressive-aggressive.
What goes on after the camera? I dread to
Get
think.
out of this conversation.
Oh no, this is an uncomfortable conversation we must have.
Matt, are you angry at me?
Let's sit. I gave Julie a tongue lashing that will not ever be repeated nor recorded. Just use your imagination. It was bad. I am going to say one nice thing, and that is you took your lashing very well. And I'm going to pretend...
Alan fucking loves this shit, doesn't he? He fucking loves this.
Felt like...
Like, it's the worst thing for me for this is, and Alan hasn't even been able to talk about this, and I don't think he will be able to understand it properly, but it's that unconditionally you're going to, like, these kids are going to love their parents, like, they're going to love them, and then they're going to be taken away from them, and like, the reasons, like, we agree that they should not be put through this sort of parenting, but it's sad because they're kids and they're just going to still want to be with their mom. Yeah, so like, you know, shouts out Trisha in chat, just thinking about that at this time, like, because of you saying that as well. Like, there's a whole lot of like hard and difficult emotional content here wrapped up that could be discussed and unfolded, but Alan is certainly not the right man to do that. I'll tell you that for sure.
Life is exactly how I want it.
I'm gonna go get dressed for football.
You're gonna have to go find your shorts. Oh, did you see the socks you threw at the side of the garden? And you are not going anywhere unless you pick up your junk. You've got crap thrown all around. No, so you see, now I'm using bad language. That's how bad of a mood I'm in. You get
Do you know what, right? Oh, God. No,
your
I'm not
socks
even
picked up,
saying.
and don't you leave your stuff out anymore. Right over there. Run and go pick them up. And then give me 10 push-ups.
Like, okay, 10 push-ups on top, that is getting to be like abuse. This is like, I'm not going to make a joke of it, because there were those awful cases in the UK recently that really fucking made me unhappy. So I'm not even going to go there and talk about them too much, but like, kids should feel loved and they should not be put through punishments, physical punishments like this. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. Yeah.
Put them in your pockets.
Like, okay, I will acknowledge that the joke I was thinking is because he's on the camera, like, you feel like you're making YouTube videos and like entertainment and pranks, and like, because they're kids and they have to do what they're told, like, you could be like you're like I guess my dad used to tease me like this a bit as well, like, but there was no camera, so I you know, but not in a bad way, but do you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't a consistent and sustained abuse, if it was just every now and then you got messed about on camera and pranked on camera and mom like done a funny prank, it wouldn't be so bad, would it? But like, yeah. Like,
You can take them down to the hamper and drop and give me 10. 1. Put your hands straight out. They're in. They're not supposed to be out. Shape your hands forward.
no, this is actually bad.
There you go. 1, 2, down further. Bring your butt.
When you consider that they were being malnourished as well, which we didn't, we're not party to, this would be increasingly more difficult, wouldn't it? It'd be like a punishment beyond, and to have to do it on camera as well. Like, this is actually quite savage. To have picked this out and to have put it as a clip that you want to upload. This is Alan's channel that we're watching. This isn't their clips, the worst clips of this family put together by someone else. Alan likes this one. He's decided to this is one he wants to share. Particularly difficult, I guess, to see directly. So I guess that's what Alan wants, is for people to feel really unhappy and sad, and then they might give him some more monies.
Down.
We will continue to show you this woman's abuse of children as a lesson to YouTubers and mothers everywhere.
What? I love the way, right? If Alan just said, I'd love to make some money on YouTube, here's a clip. Like at the start of every episode, he did clips, right? And it, like a 1.5 minute long clip. And at the start of each clip, it just said, I'd love to make some money on YouTube. Here's a clip of this. And then you saw the clip and it was 1.5 minutes long, right? At least he'd be honest with it. Like, to try and pretend he's got some sort of, I'm doing it to protect children everywhere and to teach mothers, and like, who the fuck do you think you are? You've just taken a moment in a child's life, which is one of their unhappy moments, and you've clipped it and uploaded it because you think you might get some YouTube algorithm monies. That's like your military training. But at least they fed you properly in the army, didn't they? At least they fed you properly. I know, I've heard that the army are quite good at doing, like, although you might not like the dinner, you have to eat it all. No, but they have like proper army chefs, don't they? And they have like a proper army, like, they take the cooking quite seriously in the army, don't they? They actually feed you. Yeah, like Alan, those kids didn't get fed. His choices here are so bad tonight, aren't they? Like, this is some of the worst of the Armchair Detective that I've ever seen. And I haven't seen him all the way through the Chris Watts, so I could have been even more appalled in the past, couldn't I? Bear in mind today as well, he's brought up Shannon Watts and said that Shannon Watts was basically like this woman because she was filming videos for Thrive and her kids in the background were not happy in some way. So therefore, Shannon Watts could probably be in the same line as this child abuse. Like, Alan, 2 and 2 has given us to make the 4 that Shannon Watts is a child abuser, which is fucking awful.
Yeah.
The Navy. It's the same as the Army, but you have to go on boats, which is even worse. Or submarines, which is even scarier. I used to do a lady's hair who was in the Wrens as well at one point. Or is that the Air Force? She was in the Air Force anyway. Like the Army, but you have to drop out in the air and fly around in a plane. It's scary.
I think we've got a new mission to destroy these abusers of children, vloggers.
What? You've got a mission? You're on a now crusade. Alan is on a crusade to destroy these abusive vloggers. Like, it's been going on for years, right? There's been all the kids that have sold the toys, all the kids that made millions selling toys, and their parents are pushing them on YouTube. We've had it for years. It's not new news. This one has been destroyed by merit of her being arrested. Like, they're not making any more videos. The channel is down. You are not required for a crusade, Alan. If anything, Alan, you are required to just get in the bin. Why don't you, Alan? I tell you what, I've got some nice new black rubbish bags. Why don't you get your feet in them, get yourself nice and cozy? I'll bring the little swing bin in. We'll get you in the little swing bin. We'll wheelie you outside and just fucking leave you. The bin men don't come for another few days, but don't worry. You can just stay there on your phone jerking off over kids until they do. And then you can be dragged off and packed in. Are you a classed as Wren? Maybe I got Wren's wrong. Maybe I just said Wren because I've heard the word. That's the Navy. Like, the lady whose hair I did was definitely in the planes division. So, but big ups. If Alan was in the army, he would be on. Like, he's the one in the films that has to drag out the latrines. Alan's on latrines duty. Private Alan's done it again. Can't be demoted any further. He's on the latrines.
That enlist these children as full-time money machines for their channel.
Oh my God, could you imagine if Alan had his channel up when he had kids? Why don't you, Alan, do a little interview with Scarlett on your channel? Get her on and do a little interview with Scarlett. What it's like to grow up, daughter of the famous Armchair detective. Get her on. Let's have her on the stream, Alan. Or should I get her on my stream? What do you think, Alan? Do you think if I ask Scarlett to come on, because you're doing a series about parenting, I could do trying to get Scarlett on the stream? Couldn't I? Do you think she'd come on? Have a little chat to me. Even if it's just on the phone, she doesn't have to do a video call, although it'd be nice to do a video call. Just call me. You know, we could, should we get her on the stream, Alan?
That was an extreme one. He's not the only one that does this. We get stuck in our little true crime corner. There's many other corners of true crime.
Many other corners of true crime, like child abuse on YouTube, which Alan thinks he should specialise in. Alan Vinnicombe, specialist child abuse on YouTube.
Where the streets have no sheriff. In our particular sphere, we have trolls that do terrible damage to real life of people. And in that sphere, you've got parents, I mean, almost destroying children for fame, you know?
Maybe some of those parents might be willing to sell some of the pictures they've taken of their children to you, Alan, and then you could broker deals between other paedophiles and make yourself some money on the side. Oh, hang on, is that something you already do?
YouTube has no regulations. They have terms and conditions that they don't even read themselves.
YouTube has loads of regulations.
I do know that Jordan, as she's called, I don't know what her real name is.
Katie Price. What now? Okay, what it's going to be is Katie Price is fighting for protection online because people keep saying things about Harvey looking like Conor Benn, or Conor Benn looking like Harvey Price, or like, you know, Frankie Boyle did that. Should I just get Frankie Boyle to say it instead of me? Because if you get me on it, you're going to be like, oh, I thought you were one of the good guys, and then you made all those jokes about Harvey Price. Now listen, right, it's not my fault that she did loads of cocaine when she was pregnant with Harvey Price. Frankie Boyle, Harvey Price. I am one of the goodies. I am a goodist, but you've got to accept that there are some funny jokes done by Frankie Boyle and the Harvey Price. Is it the Harvey Price joke? I think it might be the Harvey. How many? Look, she doesn't like him. Oh, we could go off on a right tangent here. I could go off on a right tangent here. I'd love it. Okay.
Apparently Jordan and Peter Andre are fighting each other over custody of Harvey. Well, eventually one of them will lose and have to keep him. I have a theory that Jordan married a cage fighter because she needed someone strong enough to stop Harvey from fucking her.
That's the Harvey Price joke. What did you say about it?
Talked about you on stage last night at a comedy event in Glasgow. And this is what Frank... Did you hear about this?
No, but is it using my name for headlines?
Oh my God, imagine this. This is awful. Again, I don't approve of this. This is BBC as well. If you've got her on, she's there to talk about... I suppose she's there to talk about the treatment of her son in the media and the jokes people make and how they should all be shut down, yeah? But, like, she's never heard this before, and you're going to read it out to her live on the radio and she's going to have to react. And it's going to be hurtful. So, like, I wouldn't do the joke, like, at her house. You don't... Jackie Rice said that's awful, the jokes. I mean, they're jokes. They're jokes, yeah? Like, obviously, like, a lot of sympathy for the situation with Harvey Price, but the truth of the matter is as well that, like, she burdens a lot of the responsibility for her, because, I mean, am I wrong here? Maybe, again, I sometimes need to ask chat because my own reading on it might be wrong. I thought that she was, like, you know, messing about out on the town when she was pregnant, and then it turned out that, like, you know, some of his issues might have been caused during the pregnancy by her doing loads of cocaine. So, like, you know, like, Anyway, this is probably me. Some people are going to be quite cross with what I've just said, maybe. But anyway, look, the point is they're deliberately provocative jokes, aren't they? And the joke has like like for me, I think the jokes are kind of like, I think they're good jokes. I think they're funniest. I think they're funniest. I think you can still joke about that and like, you know, care about the situation and like disabled people in general. And like, you know, it's not every disabled person. It's Katie Price being irresponsible and like, you know, she did marry a cage fighter at one point. Like, you know, I don't know. I think it's just like Frankie Boyle makes this, he tells things like they are and then puts a little funny spin on it, and it is dark and funniest. But if he was out there like, I don't know, like it's like in the premise that it's obviously comedy, isn't it? So I don't know. I think you can't like take it to heart too much. Like,
well, this is what he said on stage last night. Frankie Boyle said, Jordan's twin prongs of media profile are her disabled son and her sexuality, and they don't really belong together. And he couldn't resist another dig at Harvey's blindness, saying there's no way Harvey was watching that joke. That's what Frankie Boyle said last night.
Well, he obviously won't learn, will he? And the people...
Again, like, they are jokes, but the second one was a bit, for me, edgy because, like, a poke at blindness, it can be contextualised as, you know, maybe not so funniest, but, like...
People in the crowd, they're just disgusting themselves if they want to go and support someone like that. Because I'm telling you, one day, everyone, no matter who you are, you will always know someone who could always have a car crash and become disabled from it, get cancer, get something. You should never take the mickey out of someone who's got a disability, because it could not only happen to yourself.
I think it's a bit unfair, really, because I don't think Frankie Boyle goes around generally taking the mickey out of disabled people. I think he's taking the mickey out of Harvey because he's your son and because you were involved and instrumental in, like, you know, the situation in some way. I think like it's you that bears the brunt of the laughs in some way as well, because I don't think Harvey Price, like, you know, it really contextualised what Frankie Boyle's doing. So I think it's you that's getting your egg on. I think that's why he's popping at you, and I think he's saying it because it makes you angry and it makes the crowd laugh, and it's like right on the edge of, like, you know, oh my God, did he say that? I think that's part of it, isn't it?
It will always happen to someone close to you. There'll always be someone in your family or friends where something happens bad. And like I said, I believe in karma. Okay. So if that makes it...
So she believes that when Frankie Boyle's reborn, he's going to suffer the penalty and be reborn as a different sort of life form, like, you know, maybe an owl or something. Interesting take on it. Like, everything does happen bad all around the world, and that's why we have to laugh at it sometimes as well, I suppose. And that's why I like comedy. I find it difficult sometimes with Alan, although we've had some real good laughs, me and Alan, haven't we? We've had some real good laughs, haven't we, me and Alan? I wish she'd come on the show.
She's had loads of running with YouTube because of her son. There's a lot of vulnerabilities, you know, and he gets a lot of videos made about him. And she tried everything to stop certain channels making videos about him, and she couldn't do it. She gave up. She said, I can't do it. The police don't act. YouTube don't act. Everybody's toothless. No one does anything. Maybe this will change something. Maybe this case will just about...
I think Harvey Price should get into YouTube boxing. If all those people are making videos about him, he should fight them. He might win.
And they need to be kicked into policing the streets of YouTube, don't they?
Wig off.
That was reported to YouTube by thousands of people. And what did YouTube do?
Me? Did I finally wash my hair? Me? Freudian slip? Me? Did I finally wash my hair? My hair's fucking loveless. I have my hair wash. I used to be a hairdresser. It's falling out. I'm getting older, and as I get older, my hair thins, and I just have to accept it, I guess. But clean. Take my breath away.
Nothing. So that's a case we're going to follow a lot in. I'll leave it there for now. But just before we go, I want to tell you a case. What day is it today? Tuesday?
What's with all the face
I
touching?
don't know what day it is. Is it Tuesday?
He doesn't know what day it is.
On Friday, I've got a big special coming up for you.
Have you? We should probably do our... I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to do the Angry Alan Art competition, yeah? And then people are going to be like, oh, you have to restream Alan as well. So, like, we need to fit it in on the right day and time. But Friday seemed like it was going to be the time for the art competition unveiling and decision for the winner, the £100 giveaway. We've got a load of entries, I think, so like, we've got something to look through. I wonder what his big special is going to be on Friday. Like, what answers in chat before I unpause him? Like, what do you think Alan's got that's special and big that he's going to be doing? Like, what possibly can... Because the magician card came out on the reading the other day, pulling a rabbit out of a hat. This is Alan all over, like, you know, he thinks he can conjure stuff out of nothing. So I wonder what nonsense his special's going to be. His big special. Alan's big special. Big event. It can't be more ASMR and stuff like that. It's got to be true crimey, I think, hasn't it? It's got to be true crimey. It's not going to be karaoke. Jamie and Regardation Police and the AI there have got that covered. What's his special? Alan's big special. Alan's Netflix special.
AD changes the case in the Watts case. Oh, here we go.
Oh!
Special coming up for you. AD changes the case in the Watts case. Oh, here we go again. I've got some new information on the Watts case. After 5 years, believe it or not, it is possible to get new information. I've got something that's going to blow your socks off and change everything.
Every fucking month. Every fucking month. And do you know what it turns out to be? A tissue that someone's seen drifting down a river. And it's been torn apart by the eddy and the current. Yeah, big shouts out Eddie's vinyl break there. You know, a tissue drifting in the river. It's a nothing. He's got nothing.
Watts case. In fact, AD will change the case on Friday. Not often I like feed something in on, I'm sure it's Tuesday. Am I right? It's Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday for Friday. Is it Tuesday? Tell me if it's Tuesday. I'll show you a brief excerpt now and you'll see. And you must be here on Friday at 10 o'clock, okay? AD will change the case with a new bit of puzzle to what happened on the night. Something no one's ever noticed before, but they're going to find out.
You have to watch this coming. AD has come up with a new scenario that you'll be very surprised. When you hear it, you say, yeah, I think I've got some new evidence. Evidence has never, ever been thought of before. This Friday, don't miss it.
That she was there. That she was there. That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm following.
Did Nick know that she was there? Really? She, because they're her kids. She wasn't supposed to be there. She hurt my kids. Well, Shanann can't hurt your kids because they're her kids. She wasn't supposed to be there. I've got some new bits of the puzzle, and you're in for a shock this Friday. Another clue she was there. Kessinger makes a slip-up, and some more or less reports word for word what Chris said happened that night about the children coming in and seeing their mother being killed. I mean, like, she's... I think I have the proof.
I don't every week come and say, oh, I've got new evidence. I need you to watch.
Bye, Alan. Bye, Alan. Queen edits for your videos that Alan's ravaging. Alan bad. Super chuff for you for little cheeky videos and stuff that we've been doing on Twitch. Search YouTube for all the stuff about the passengers. You know. Alan's useless. Do you know what? I'm going to have to just say this, right? I've been watching the Chris Watts stuff. I said it the other day. We were talking about it on stream, and I've been watching it. And I said I've made a couple of notes about a couple of things I've heard Chris Watts say that I want to question. And I wonder if he's heard one of the things that I've spotted. And I wonder if me saying it has jumped one of his spanners into gear to have another look over it. Or I wonder if it's just coincidence. But what I might have to do is I might have to do a Chris Watts what I've heard video in the coming days before Friday, just to jump his gun a little bit in case it's the same thing. I feel a little bit angry about it, actually. I feel a little bit hot and angry about it because I had this like brewing and I was taking my time over it, but I feel like he might actually have seen something there that I've seen. My guess is it's just a load of nonsense from Alan, but there is something in there that I wanted to bring to the attention of the world. Well, not of the world. I just like I've been watching the Chris Watts videos recently because Alan keeps fucking going on about them, and I was like, you know, made a few notes myself. That's all. That's all. Wow, what a fucking awful stream from Alan. Like, we need something to wash our brains at the end of that, don't we?
Going. Opening a bank account.
This way. We're opening a checking account for Sherry, and
I'm selling her banker on watching her channel.
want to know where Kevin's been all day. He's been out working.
You.
I'm ready to go to the store with Evie. And don't stop. What are you doing?
No!
You know that we have to get a treat. You know that we have to get something to make it worth our while. Need some help?
Is this what you're wearing?
Yeah.
You don't want to wear pajamas?
No.
The little kids are getting ready for surgery. Want me to hold it? Thank you. Sherry came because it is 7th grade day to go
with the parent to work days.
Silly, Dad. Those are mine.
Oh, there we go. Been crying and honey.
Oh. Oh. It's midnight now. It's officially always midnight. It's midnight. I think that's quite enough for one evening, isn't it? I think everyone's tired and needs their beddies. And now I've got work to do. Yeah, put my video out on Thursday. I've got work to do to check it over, the things I've seen. It might not be enough. Like, I thought I was going to watch through all of the Chris Watts interviews, take extensive notes, go over it a couple more times, put my video together. But the couple of things I've noticed that I wonder if Alan's like, you know, or not Alan, but one of his spanners has seen the same thing. And yeah, should I just drop it the day before? Yeah. But it means I've got to do some work this week now, all of a sudden, haven't I? Because what day is it? What day even is it? It's actually now Wednesday, but that's because it's past midnight, so that gives me one day. It is sad for those poor kids, isn't it, overall? That's the main thing that should be coming out of that. Like, Alan, instead of leaving us on that note, left us on the note that, you know, he's got something about the what was he saying? You know, something to bring to our attention, hasn't he? But he's a bad chuffer. He's a bad chuffer, Alan is. He's a bad chuffer. I wonder if I should just watch something else just to clear my brain a bit. Give me just a second and I'll check my watch later list. Just want something a little bit short, don't I? I'm shocked at how bad he is, you know. I'm actually shocked at how bad he is. I can't find anything good on my watch later list, to be honest. I think we've done our work, haven't we? I think we've done our work. I'll copy Queen Edits into chat as well if you want to watch edits of that channel that you know, that have been doing the edits of the family. It's a fucked up, weird story. Alan's going to try and bang that for ages now, isn't he? The main thought to leave you with is that Alan fucking spent his morning creating and viewing and editing videos of kids. That's the main thing to finish it on, isn't it? We will reconvene. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I really want to do a thing on Super Chuffer tomorrow. The Chris Watts thing, I suppose I could drop on Super Chuffer, couldn't I? So it's maybe tomorrow I spend my day working my arse off trying to get clips and put together my thoughts on the Chris Watts case. Well, not my thoughts, just a couple of clips and a couple of moments. Nothing big. And just because if Alan then says them on Friday, then I can say, I said it first, you fucking knob. And that'll make him cross. But yeah, if you want to carry on the party, I've got an episode to upload tomorrow as well, which will be Alan's review of Nicola Bullis. I hope he doesn't go live tomorrow so that I get a break from his bollocks. How did he do? 642 views on that one. He didn't do well today. As predicted, this has not earned him... And I've just given him another view there. As predicted, it's not earned him a lot of views. That won't get the thousands that he gets for his other nonsense, yeah? It hasn't resonated with his audience necessarily, let's say. 600 views. Like, let's say a bunch of people watch him always to see what a dick he is. A bunch of them are now watching me tonight because they didn't have to watch him live, so that reduces it. And then, obviously, it's not done well with his audience. The other videos he's dropped on the Red channel have not gone viral. So I think, even though he said tonight that he's going to be running this and banging this for the next few weeks and really getting to the bottom of the case, I think he'll just not do it anymore. But he'll probably continue to have the videos on his phone. Freudian slip got their message deleted, but it's alright. Like, I don't spend my time writing 6 songs. Like, you've just seen how I spend my time. I ain't nothing special. I would also agree. I'm not nothing special. Do you want to hear one? That's a good way to finish it. Let's finish it with some 6 songs. Right, so here's Alan singing with kids. Yeah, Dirty Man, right? But on that channel, Send Trees, you can also find other songs. Not Jelly Hoshishimi, or whatever she's called, singing some karaoke. Not that. But do you want to hear the songs, isn't it? I'm going to call that whatever his daughter's name is. I'm going to call it Alan's Daughter. Alan's daughter, I would take you to New York and buy you a nice dinner. Alan's daughter, I would take you to New York, buy you a nice dinner. We can stop in the plaza, we can stay. I'm awful at high pitch. Stay in the plaza, watch the stars and moon collide. I'll buy you a nice dinner tonight. I'm on all about that nice dinner. And not so much about the rape, like Alan says, which is strange. Oh yeah, Alan's daughter. Like, with the Freudian slip comment, right, Slinky Socks, if it's about me, and it's to me, and it's just a bit mean, I don't care, let that ride. If it becomes, like, if it's other people in chat, not acceptable. You know, if they're atting, like, you know, someone in chat and saying bad things to them, not acceptable. But to me, direct, like, you know, I can either choose to take it on or I can let it ride. And then, like, if they keep doing it and it becomes a problem, I can say, oh, hang on, look, you know, being a bit rude here, might just, you know, get one of the mods to mod you. But I kind of don't mind. I kind of just, like, it's not like a zinger that. It's not like they're hurty, like, oh, they need to be modded. It was like, it said you spend your time writing 6 songs, you ain't nothing special. So it's just a silly one, isn't it? I don't mind. Like, I think they might learn something if they hang out. Oh, your dad likes to pass the buck, but you and me, we can always talk about it. Oh, your dad likes to pass the buck. I hope you're doing backing vocals. Oh yeah, you and me, You can give me a suck. A call. Damn it. I should say call there. Oh, your dad likes to pass the buck. But you and me, we can always talk about it. Oh, your dad likes to pass the buck. But you can give me a call. Give me a call. Yeah. Alan goes, yeah. So Alan, what was I saying? We can go to New York, stay in the plaza. The moon and stars are about to collide tonight. Yeah, I'll buy you a nice dinner. You're Alan's daughter and I love ya. Oh, Alan's daughter, your daddy likes to pass the buck. Yeah, you and me, we can talk about it. Well, Alan always pass the buck. But you can get down on your knees and give me a call. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So it's not bad, is it? It's not that bad. And there was a bit of a stream where we did Alan Smule as well. We sang Alan Smule. I hate D. Alan Smule. Alan Smule. Alan Smule. Alan Smule. He's crazy like a fool. Have you heard Alan Smule? Alan on Smule, like he was just singing with the kids on Smule. So I didn't do it, he did it. He did it singing with the kids. Created a, what's it called? It's like a live hangout room, it's called a collaboration or something like that. Created one, the kids were there, Alan was there. He had his fun. Now who's having fun? Now who's having fun? I am, basically. Me more than Alan. Definitely me over Alan. Me having more fun than Alan. I'm having more fun than Alan. Oh, hang on, wait. Am I?
Hello, are you there? Welcome to Juju Island's Halloween party. My name is Alan. You probably won't recognise me in this disguise, but it is me. It is me.
Do you remember this one? Do you remember this one? Those were the good old days, weren't they? When Nicola Bulley was still missing and Emma White was potentially a murderer. They were the good old days. Work meetings.
Turkey bacon's the secret to making it delicious.
This is Dark Side Phil.
It's going to be 100 grand for 1 year, 200 grand for 2 years, which I haven't got. So I'm in a corner, a sticky situation that's ruining my life. My family are getting abused. I'm getting abused, and you're getting uppity because I'm not answering some question. Come on, I'm the one that's up against the wall. There's nothing you can say that I haven't tried. I've tried everything. Honestly, I've tried everything. I've tried reasoning with them. I've tried pleading with them. I've tried sending them cease and desist letters to no avail. They're just trolls. I can't do anything. You guys need to understand and be, don't be offended. I get upset that I'm being
Listen, brother.
put in a terrible place. It's not for you to be upset. It's for me to be upset. Thank you very much for watching the Armchair Detective tonight. I can't film from the street, can I? For some DOS house where I can't. I've got no money. I'm 68. Without this channel, I'm penniless. I live from week to week. I might give off bravado that I'm this, I'm that. I might do some holidays, yes, because I'm old. I want to see. If I get any money, I'll go abroad again. who will help me and Lizzie Heidi-Ho, because I know she'll be watching, keep track of all the money received. And I'll be, unlike other people, totally transparent. Every week, I will show you a statement from a PayPal of what's gone in.
Every
I
week.
wish people would just like get a job and do some work and make their own way in life and try to get money out of their own man. They don't know what I have to look after in my family, do they? They just associate you get this money, so we're going to get that money, and they don't know that I've spent it all because I do other things with other people.
Wait, what?
They don't know that I've spent it all because I do other things with other people.
So we're going to get that money, and they don't know that I've spent it all because I do other things with other people.
Wait, what?
So when he got there, he had all the threats, and I suffered threats. He had worse threats.
Martin Luther King.
He expected to be killed, and he said, with all these threats and talk about the threats were out there, what would happen to me if some of our sick white brother was to shoot me? Well, I don't know what would happen. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it doesn't matter to me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind what happens to me. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's work. And he's allowed me to go up the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory that come in the Lord. He's saying, I expect to get murdered. Martin Luther King. I have a dream, right? So there he is on the actual balcony he was killed on. This is the actual balcony.
The actual balcony.
Memphis.
Balcony.
And he's holding up his speech. And then a minute later, he's dead. I have a dream.
And by turning the painting on its side, I've doubled its value. Big ups Jessica S. Gifted a battery acid membership. Who picked that up? Dover and Dolly's one was gifted the membership. You mods stick together, don't you? No, I think it happens automatic by YouTube. Congratulations. Thank you.
Now he's thinking, I had a dream. And then he's no longer with us.
Now he's thinking, I had a dream, but now I'm dead. That'll go down well in the press. I had a dream. Now he's thinking, I had a dream. I don't think he's thinking about his famous speech when he got shot, was he? Oh, I had a dream, and now I'm dead.
So the picture tells two stories.
The picture tells...
And there's the balcony.
There's the balcony. I have to include these in my clip salads. I mean, I'm editing the things and putting them up on Sentries, aren't I? But the clip salads on Sentries, which I'm definitely not responsible for, have some of these things that... This is what's going on in my brain sometimes. Like when I want to feel happier and when things just need to be better, this is going on in my brain. I don't know what's going on in your brains, but...
Get on the £5 fucking weed.
Bundle call.
Bundle call. I used to watch Tyne so much, and now I don't watch him at all because he took £50 off me and never come on the show. Bundle call.
Fuck no.
I think it was February the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot about this guy.
2023 was the Grammy Awards. We can call it more like Satan's Awards. And then they all give their awards, you know, this garbage for nasty songs they write. But they had one scenery, a script, or whatever you want to call it, a show. And it starts out by, looks like a homosexual man. He's coming out, you know, he's the devil. He's representing the devil, and he looks like the devil. And He screams as he's coming out, "We've come to worship," and the people in the audience are screaming and whooping and howling and got gleam in their eyes, and they're all wearing devil's horns. And he sings, and as he's singing, there's a circle around him of men dressed in white robes, and they bow down and worshiping him. And in the background you're seeing, it'll show you another scene where women dressed in just about nothing, in cages, and got flames of fire behind them, and shredding, they dancing, making all kind of sexual movements with other women in front of them. Unholy. This is an unholy event.
A little more kindness.
Oh, I have gout. My little child toes have swollen gout. Terrible.
Okay, so there's a streamer called Darkside Phil, and he is basically the textbook definition of a narcissist, which is why he's very, very good as a sort of foil to highlight different behavioral traits associated with narcissism. Now, Phil also happens to be in the slightly unique position where he doesn't socialize much, and most of the time with most narcissists, because they're socializing with family and friends, work colleagues, and sort of, you know, the relationships and the social networks that we all form as part of our lives going about our daily business. Those social situations provide lots of opportunities for narcissists to learn how to adjust their behavior and manage their image and, you know, deal with conflict and all sorts of stuff like that. So their traits are usually not as outright extreme as Phil's are, because Phil's have been allowed to fester and grow.
This is like Alan.
Unimpeded, because he's basically been in his own little fiefdom of, if you disagree with me, I could ban you from
The
my
automatic
chat.
tax
So
post.
he's gone
sorry.
very, very,
I'm such a bad
very,
jumper.
very extreme, and his behaviour is.
I should be doing.
Me personally, like clinically and psychologically, in every sense of the word, incredible. He's a good foil for narcissism, and to show how certain traits can be magnified or certain traits can manifest, and how narcissism can drive a person's behavioural and decision making. So he's fun. He's fun as well, because he's just such a toxic person. Fun to shit on him.
So we've got this guy. If you've never heard of him, you'll be able to find out a little bit about him through my channel. Where I did one live talking about how not to stream to try and introduce him. We also did how he relates to his audience as one of our first episodes of Thus, and he comes up in conversation a bit. We did this episode about gambling, gaming, and addiction, and he was a focus of that because he spends.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
And obviously, I should say Steve has done fucking hours and hours of video about him as well. So tell the audience about how much money Darkside Phil spent on a mobile game this year or over his time.
I don't know about this year because it's only February, but I know that an estimate is at least 100,000. There's somebody who also plays the game and sort of talks about it. It's a guy called TJ. So he knows how much, and so you can see how much Phil has spent by how much his roster is worth, and so there's basically you can work out how much he's spent to get.
Okay. Phil spent 100 grand on that mobile game. I should have cut that a bit shorter.
You know, we could go back in time many, many years to talk about that whole stream where I was expertly handling my wang. And then I started tweeting about handling my wang, and people really liked it, and it actually went kind of viral. People were like tweeting all about my wang. Do you remember that? I'm talking about Tekken Tag Tournament, the character wang, of course. That's what it was. Ding dong day. Ding dong day. That was a different stream entirely. It was Fighter's History. See,
when he went ding dong there like that, that's him being racist.
now here it is, right?
Oh, look who it is.
God entered my body.
What the fuck? That's the discovery. Let's keep the vibe going. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. Look at them all. He's done these in different languages. Look, this one.
له دخل داخل جسدي كجسد ملاك إسلامي. نصر الحجم.
What the hell, man? Power Stick. I never even heard of Power Stick. Can you even buy Power Stick today? I don't even think it still exists, right?
Genetic garbage.
Hello?
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 Hello, are you free tonight?
Yeah, I'm free tonight.
How much is 15 minutes?
come to my place?
Yeah. Can you come here or?
Yeah, I can come to your place. The thing is, normally they don't go for 15 minutes.
What about 20
If
minutes?
you go out, normally they go in for 1 hour, 2 hours.
How much is half an hour?
Half an hour, if you come into my place, is 80 pounds.
What if I come to yours for 15 minutes?
15?
15 minutes is 60 pounds, babe.
You couldn't even, like, it's not even a normal burger. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so today, we're definitely going to be ordering something way more common. All right? Tries the McDonald's jingle of the burger, right?
This is this gets in for me. Clip salad for me is everything I've been clipping and putting up on the internet. This is a blind dude learning to jump down the thing with a stick. He's blind and he's doing skateboarding. So for me, this got in. This is like clipped and I put it in. Let's listen to this again.
She had plans. Oh, she was on a work meeting.
She was what? She was on her work. Pat Butcher come and said that for you then.
She had plans. Oh, she was on a work meeting.
It's like she coughed it out like the demons.
She had plans. Oh, she was on a work meeting.
Honestly, I think this has more of a use if I just remove the drink cozies. It's just a football helmet I could put on to look stupid, right? Here's the thing, though. So there's foam on near
the. honestly, I think this has more of a use. Like, you know, if I just take the drinks things off, it's a football helmet I could put on to look stupid. What? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
She had plans. Oh, she was
on a work meeting. This one's a wrong one still. I've got to look
Honestly,
over that.
I think this has more of a use if I just remove the drink cozies. It's just a football helmet I could put on to look stupid, right?
Good.
Here's the thing, though. So there's foam on near the ears,
Mhm.
and the foam I think is supposed to keep it so that you don't go too close to the bolts and it doesn't hurt your head, which is fine. The problem is it's blocking my hearing. Like I'm legitimately can't hear as well. All I hear is like echo during this thing. So if I'm playing a game, I won't even be able to really hear the game. I'll just hear like an echo. In this, $40 for this. $40 I paid for this helmet. $40. Is it even
He needs the tips.
on straight? I guess not. It doesn't even feel like it's on straight, right? Ah! It just scratched
That's because you've got the head.
my forehead. I'm serious. The bolt just scratched my fucking forehead when the fucking thing moved. Ow!
It's because of the shape of your head.
I hope it didn't just cut me. Ow! That hurt. That legit hurt. Ow. Okay, anyway. It's Wabbit season. I'm coming for you, Wabbit. Whoops. Oh, what was that? Blew off my legs. You rascally Wabbit. You put down a Claymore.
Look at this for gameplay, look. In the toilet.
She had plans.
I should have edited that better. He goes in the toilet and he hides in the toilet.
Oh, she was on a work.
She was on her work. She was on her work. Oh, everything's fine. She was on her work. But what? Is everything all right with you there, Nikki? Everything's fine. Emma. Sorry, not Nikki. Emma, isn't it? Emmy. Oh, everyone gets us confused. Everyone gets us confused. Everyone gets us confused. Everyone gets us confused. I'm having a life. Yeah. Everyone gets us confused. Everyone gets us confused. It's all right. You know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yes, it is Willow. Everyone gets us confused on a work meeting. Yeah. No, it's fine.
And I was like, you just give up. You're not going to spin this positively. You're doing something negative. It's something that people don't want. No one's confused about what you're doing. There's no confusion here. We know what you're doing, and no one likes it. You're just going to lose customers because of it, so just deal with it. Just stop with the coping. Okay? So.
He's thirsty. Dear water.
You can tell he's been fed before, huh?
Squirrel drinking the water, look. Squirrel's having some water. So that's good. The music. No. The music. Dare you? I'm going to have to do my Greta Thunberg. How dare you? You've stolen our futures. You've taken our futures. How dare you? How dare you? I don't want to go to school today, Daddy. How dare you? Global warming. I'm not going to school today, Daddy, because of global warming. How dare you? Well, Greta, I think you might have to go to school because, you know, little kids have to go to school. Global warming, Daddy. How dare you? I'm not going to school. Well, I suppose you could have the day off just today for global warming and then tomorrow it's back to school. How dare you? I want to go and sit outside Parliament, Daddy. I'm staying outside Parliament, Daddy. I'm not leaving Parliament, Daddy. Global warming is so important, Daddy. Is global warming important to you, Greta? Or do you just not want to go to school? How dare you? You've stolen my future. Well, not going to school affected my future as well, but you've stolen my future. I actually quite like Greta Thunberg. I don't know why I'm being dissing Greta Thunberg. I quite like her. I like everything she stands for. I just think maybe she should have gone to school. Anyway.
There was a day when I was so lonely.
You love Guar. Why don't you join the band?
You love Guar. Why don't you join the band? I am effectively just watching my own clip edit video on my channel now. I'm doing an Alan, just watching my own videos.
Every day was an eternity.
And the view count reflects that. Everyone's fucked off. I said it was the end of the episode, and everyone fucked off. And now this is just like the little after party for a minute until this 40-minute clips video runs out. Have I got 40 minutes in me left? I don't think I have. I need to go and play Genshin Impact. But if you want to continue watching these sort of clips and more, then Send Trees is the Clip Chopper channel that I've been dropping some of the Alan-based... and of course, Stinky Socks is chopping clips as well. And we've got Reguidation Police in the house. And we've got Jamie with the AI. Yeah, but Send Trees is not a proper channel that I'm trying to push. It's just when we had the problem with the songs. That's where this came from. We were watching the songs. I needed to drop it on somewhere, and this is just my dustbin edits channel, the one that started it all as well. This is where Alan ripped off the Paul Ansel interview. Look, because I did the Paul Ansel Channel 5 interview, put it up there. That's had 17,000 views, but not monetized. But some bad chuffer, some naughty chuffer. Do you remember that line at the top that showed that it was my video? That line. That's where this all started, isn't it? Wow. Wow. Funny that. So overall, what we learned tonight is that Alan is a massive nonce, and he's been spending his day looking at videos of little girls. So that's Alan, the Alan Show. That's been me, my show. I'm going to go and play Genshin Impact. You've been the chuffers. Thank you very much for your interaction in chat. All your words have been above my head. It's all been recorded. It's 1 in the morning, and I think you've all been good. And remember, though, if you can't be good, if you can't be good, then I'm going to make you sleep in the toilet. And you're not getting any food for ages. And I'm going to video you doing press-ups and put you on YouTube. No, I won't do that. That's too much. But if you can't be good, you're naughty.